Master Patrol Officer Jesse Madsen, Tampa Police Department, Florida. End of watch March 9th. Cause of death, car accident. Police Officer Gary Hibbs, Chicago Heights Police Department, Illinois. End of watch March 12th. Cause of death, assault. We've only had 2 line of duty deaths since our last show, which is a really good thing. But we have some officers that were killed in the line of duty that we want to remember. New Jersey State Trooper Sean Cullen, end of watch March 8th, 2016. Struck by a vehicle while assisting at the scene of a car fire. Sean was very good friends with our own Andrew Einstein, who is going to have his own show here on this network really soon. They were partners early on in their careers, and we remember you, Sean. Rest in peace, my brother. NYPD Detective Kevin Gillespie, end of watch, March 14th, 1996. Assigned to the plainclothes street crime unit, he and his partner stopped a car on the Grand Concourse that was reported in a carjacking earlier on in the day. As they approached the car, the mutts opened fire on them, striking Detective Gillespie above his vest and killing him. One perp was shot 5 times on the scene. The other was arrested and later hanged himself in custody. NYPD Police Officer Sean McDonald, end of watch March 15th, 1994. Assigned to the 4-4 precinct on a fixed post, he investigated a suspicious activity at a clothing store across the street from the post that he had. He went in there. He started to interview the 2 suspects, began to toss them. They fought him. One of them pulled out a gun and shot him 5 times. We remember you, Sean McDonald. We're now going to take a moment of silence to honor all the police officers, firefighters, first responders, and veterans that gave their lives in the line of duty. Welcome back to the Blue Room, folks, where we have the right to remain silent, but
that ain't happening.
That ain't happening.
I feel like I'm about to ride a roller coaster.
Yeah.
This is exciting. Tommy, just cheer up, Tommy.
I'm cheering up. Listen,
Yeah, come on, salute.
all right, salute.
There you go. Salute.
I'm afraid to even move, Jacob.
All right, we are definitely having some problems with the phones tonight, guys. So bear with us. We have our guest calling in. If we dip in and dip out, it's not our fault. It's the Verizon folks that we're doing our thing with, just not giving us a really clear connection. Is the caller on the line, Jacob?
Yes, they are.
Jenny, you with us?
Can you hear her?
No.
I don't hear anyone.
Can you hear us?
Try now.
Try again. Jenny, you there?
Yep, we're here.
I'm getting
you guys
a
hear
lot of
me now?
feedback that in my ears that I wouldn't normally get. Is that part of the issues that we're having?
Yeah.
All right. So do we have our caller or no?
Yeah.
Jen, you there? I see them. I see them on the screen. Do you hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, there.
Oh,
Hey,
there
how
we
you
go.
doing?
There it is.
All right, so we have Jen Satterly and wife of retired Sergeant Major Tom Satterly,
You hear them both,
U.S.
right?
Ranger,
You hear them?
author and voice of every veteran spouse that has or is dealing with PTSD. Jen Satterly's with us. Tom Satterly's with us. Hey guys, welcome back.
How you guys been, man?
We're doing awesome, man. You guys are killing it, though. Lots of really, really cool stuff to talk about. And it's unfortunately that we say it's cool stuff, but it's really important and good stuff. So it's cool because it's exciting, the great work that you guys are doing for the folks that really need it.
Yeah, it's tough to make light of it, I guess, and to have fun with it. It's always tough, but we're really trying to do that now. We're really
Absolutely.
trying to- I mean,
Absolutely.
it's not a fun subject, but we have to talk about it. So it's got to be something people want to do.
Yeah, so Tom, we had you on a couple of months ago, and anyone that listens to the show or knows the name knows what you've done and what you're about. But Jen, wife of, was girlfriend of, that basically said, "Wow, here's a busted up old dude, and I'm gonna fix him." and you fixed them.
Better get to work.
Exactly. So the delay here between what we're saying and what you're saying is a little bit frustrating. So I'm going to try to ask questions and speak, and then give a nice long pause in between, so that we don't speak over each other if we can.
It's like a long distance phone call.
It really is.
Yeah.
Poor Jacob.
Jacob, two motherfuckers just did a great job. What are you talking about?
Yo.
All right. So we'll try this. I don't know if you can see my hand up. I don't know what the delay here is and what's
No,
going
it's
on.
about 30 seconds delay.
About 30 seconds. Oh my lord.
15 to 30
I could do a lot in 30 seconds. Just saying.
It's only about 3 for us.
All right, so they've got around 3-second delay. We have like a 30-second delay. So Jen, you were a filmmaker, photographer. Your company did lots of work with special ops, military, filming, making short videos and things like that. And you obviously identified something in that world. Whether it had been you identified with the men and women that served, or the spouses, more importantly, and the family members, you identified something there that you felt needed to be addressed. So, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think I first identified with trauma. And that sounds odd, but I was an anthropology major for a long time before I actually had a teacher talk me out of it. It wasn't as cool in Indiana Jones as I originally had built up that story. So, but part of me has always been really curious about different groups of people, different tribes. The military certainly has their own language, their own culture. And when I first met and started working alongside Tom, I knew very little about special operations, really very little about military at all. And, you had a very traumatic background from Somalia when we were 25 or 26 maybe.
Little bitty guy.
Little bitty operator, probably like 150 pounds. But had gone through just a few things that sparked a little bit of trauma in his life. And although my story was very different from Tom's, and how my trauma and PTS had developed through childhood trauma and abuse and sexual assault, the result of that trauma looked very similar between Tom and I. Not the same, but similar, and very similar to a lot of the guys that I was working alongside. And so I think I recognized the trauma and felt familiar in it, welcomed in it. I was always a tomboy too, so frankly, I loved running with the boys for a few years. But I really saw a serious lack of help for spouses. When I have a phone call with them, the first thing I say is, "Thank you for your service." And they're like, "Who? Me? What?" And I'm like, "Yes, you." Because the thing that our spouses have to do to help keep everyone sane on the home front is truly unappreciated, unrecognized in this country. And I hope that we can change that. I hope that we can give a voice to the people who are also sacrificing quietly for this country.
So you thought that you identified was that whether they were all the spec op guys, that whether it was Green Beret or Rangers or SEALs or Delta, they kind of all were the same, kind of from the same place, and the spouses and the families were dealing with the very same issues. It didn't matter, what division or what branch they served in. At that level of service is a little bit different than the men and women that sign up and do their 3 or 4 year hitch in the sand and then they go home. When you're at this level of service and commitment, that you kind of identified that they kind of all had something very similar, something very in common.
Yeah, y'all are definitely cut from the same cloth, or a similar cloth at least. And I think one of the things that surprised me about working in special forces was, there is a similarity, but also how different people are. And I told Tom, I'm like, I had this idea of what a Navy SEAL was. I had this idea of what an Army Ranger or a Green Beret or Delta. Actually, I didn't even know what Delta Force was. When I met Tom, I had no idea. They're like, this guy's from Delta Force. I'm like, I don't know what that is. Is that like a SEAL? And, the guy turned around, who was from Delta Force, and didn't appreciate my comment. But I'm
Right, quiet professionals don't ever talk about your job, and then when nobody knows about it, you're like, what? You don't know? It's supposed to be that way.
Yeah, like I said, that's kind of the way it's supposed to be. Like the
Right.
folks that talk about it never really did it, and the ones that don't, like, you kind of keep it to yourself.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think there's definitely an overarching theme to the group, but also very, very different individual type of people. Like Tom has a wide breadth of friends that act and talk and behave very differently. And, Tom's not the same as them and they're not the same as him. And that's why PTS is such a complicated thing, because it affects every single person differently. The treatment options, therefore, have to be different.
There's a lesson there too in life that we all think, oh, the military or law enforcement, you guys are all in the package, right? Until you get to know somebody. Until she got to know us, she thought this one thing and got to know us. Oh, no, you're all very different. You have the same goals and you're similar, but you're all very different. And that's how, different and hard it is to treat people and able to reach them, right? But once you get in there and get to know somebody, then you can actually make a change and make a difference.
So, obviously, early on, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that, Tom, you probably couldn't have identified that there were any issues. Most like anyone else that has some sort of issue, you don't really identify it until it's kind of pointed out. So, Jen, was there very common behaviors at, say, social events? Because I imagine, just like the police department and just like, like a high school dance, that the boys hang out on one side and the girls hang out on another, and the boys are over here acting like idiots, and the girls are over here talking about the boys that are acting like idiots. So was that kind of what was going on? And you could then identify with these conversations with other spouses that kind of said, yeah, we're going through the same thing. Was that part of the beginning of what you did?
Not so much for me because I'm a veteran spouse. So, and Tom lived in St. Louis, so I really didn't know very many military spouses or military families. We were kind of in our own bubble. What I really started to understand was when I was embedding with this guy for 3 years, that's where the stories really started to develop. That's where I started seeing some common thread of, okay, maybe how we got here is different. Maybe our stories are different. Maybe it's childhood trauma really that's affecting me, that's never been treated or talked about and has nothing to do with war, which we find to be a lot of the times. So I started seeing the pattern of behaviors, issues on the home front, issues with spouses and kids. And then I think really from working with the warriors first, I started getting the guy that was like, hey, can I hand you the phone to my wife? Can you talk to her? And then I started talking to more wives. But really, I think it was a couple of years of working alongside the warriors before I started working with the spouses. And truly hearing their stories over and over again, especially over the last 3 years. These are some tough people and have been through a heck of a lot. I give them all credit, military and law enforcement.
So what were some of the things that that jumped out? What were some of the common denominators that you identified?
We just spoke this last time and I said, hey, here's the warning signs. And Tom and I would have PowerPoint presentations and these are the things to look for with PTSD. But the problem is with that is a lot of the things that are identifiers as a problem are also socially acceptable in the culture. So if I were to say, well, reckless behavior, like adrenaline junkie behavior here, this is a real red flag. And they're like, yeah, but we all do that. drinking a lot, excessive drinking, or even drugs. Yeah, but everybody does that. And so it's hard to take a look at it and say this is just part of culture or there's a real problem here. And I think that's one of the biggest issues that we have, and why we're losing so many military.
Well, I
members.
think just like law enforcement, we're dealing with alpha personalities. We say alpha male, but I think we know a lot of females that have that same alpha personality. So when you have a bunch of alpha personalities getting together, it's really hard to explain to someone that's standing there with that personality. And I have it, and I'm sure Tom had it, and I know Josh has it. Josh has it way beyond anyone else I know. To be able to say, "Hey, let's work on this a little bit," because it is affecting other things. And when you say things like alcoholism and verbal, I say abuse, but verbal abuse or anxiety and all the other things that come down to PTS, it's difficult to point out, right, what that is. But it's even more difficult for the person. And I give Tom all the props in the world for the person to say, "Hey, you know what? You might be right. You might be right." And now I've identified it, and let's get better as a human being. Let's get better as a family. That's a big jump.
Yeah,
It's a huge jump.
We want to change that speech to leadership is saying, hey, I need help and I'm getting help and I'm going to be better for it, right? Just like I go to the gym and work out, and just like I run and shoot my weapon. To be good at it, I'm going to go, make my brain a little better or my emotions stronger and more stable. So we're trying to change that language about what that is, as opposed to, well, I need help. It means I'm weak, as opposed to, no, I know I need to learn something better and get more in depth at it, and I'm going to be good at it when I'm done. So that's courageous.
And let's start talking about it like an injury. If you break your arm, you're going to go through the process of healing, and nobody's going to judge you or look at you any differently for saying, "Hey, you know what? I broke my arm. I'm going to go get I'm going to go get it set. I'm going to get a cast. Then I'm going to go through physical therapy, and I'm going to rebuild that muscle. Rebuild that strength."
No, it's important to identify as an injury, whether it's depression or anxiety or alcoholism, whatever it is. I know lots of alcoholics that would never go out and get help, but if they had cancer, they'd be at Sloan Kettering tomorrow to get the help that they need.
Yep.
The stigma involved with those things, those diagnoses, whether it's alcoholism or depression and whatnot, needs to be changed. And when you have someone like Tom at the highest level of operation in the military that can turn around and say, "Hey, yeah, you know what? I was as badass as it gets, and I need a little help, and I got it, and I'm a better person for it, and let's help you guys out too," is just tremendous. We just need more people to kind of flip the script the way you guys have and continue to do.
It's going to be a generational thing, but it's so critical that we start. And, one of the most powerful things is All Secure was nominated and won a grant from another nonprofit called Helicopters for Heroes. So they raise money for other veteran organizations. In 2021, we were chosen as the organization. They said, bring down, 10 other veterans. Tom had a few Delta Force guys that had come. He hadn't seen some of them in 10 years, 12 years. And, by the time we had left, two of the guys started saying, like, "Oh, I'm not comfortable talking or sharing my story," have now agreed to be on our podcast because they said that weekend was so healing, just talking, just getting the stuff out that I've been holding for so long. And it was noticeable to their families when they came home. It's powerful to share your story. It's powerful to recognize it and name it if you don't know what you're dealing with.
One of them wrote called later and said, "I read your book."
Yeah.
That says a lot. That says so much. He goes, "I just wouldn't read a dude's book. I wouldn't read your book. But after hanging out that weekend and what you talked about, it was like, I read it. Fantastic. It's a whole different thing than I thought." I'm like, yeah, exactly. And he's like, "I'm going to go do this. I need that, and I need help, and I want to help out as well." So, it's work. It's starting to work.
We'll get more people sharing.
Well, from Tom's angle, as someone that served and recognized that, you can be better and you can change. But for Jen, who gave up a career. You gave up a career, film, photography. You gave up a career to, and at that point, you could say that you were working to help the person that you loved, and that turned into helping thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people, which is, I mean, just tremendous. To identify the need for what needed to be done, and then for you to give up your career, what you love to do, to start that is, it's got to be rewarding. It's got to be pretty amazing for you.
I love it more than anything I've done. It really, I can identify with people who have that identity crisis when you leave something, because I have done, film, photography, the art world since I can remember. So at 38 years old, I still worked with them until I was probably 41, 42. Stepped out of it, and I had a lot of people like, "You're crazy, you've worked so hard to get to this level, you're stepping out, you're kind of at the top of your game, what are you doing?" And I had a lot of like, "Oh crap, what am I doing?" I am
one of those what was I thinking moments.
years here, and was doing some really incredible projects I'm proud of, but this is where I'm supposed to be.
So what are some of the things that and I think that there's a parallel here between law enforcement families and military families, where again with that alpha personality, and when we talked earlier about alcoholism and whatnot, and how we deal with what we go through every day, a lot of us we're fearful to look for help because of things like we call it the rubber gun squad, where they take our guns away and then you don't work anymore, and this is what you do. So when you take away what you do, and it's not like what you do for a living. You're a cop. You do a lot of things as a cop. You're in the military. You do a lot of things. But this is the one thing. Like, this is what I do. So, yeah, I could still be a cop. But then when I ask for help, I sit behind a desk. They take my gun away. I lose my overtime. I don't have the money that I need to support my family. And in Tom's position, I would think it would be the same idea, is that when you say, "Hey, I need a little help," all of a sudden you're off the front line. But that's what you live for, right? That's what you live for, to do that. How do we overcome that? How do we get our, the higher ups in the military, in the police departments, to recognize the fact that we can ask for help without being, quote unquote, punished for it? Because if you were an alcoholic, you go to the farm. We call it the farm. You take 30 days, you go someplace, you dry out. If you have, you break a leg, maybe 2 months, you're walking on sticks for a little bit while you heal. There's got to be a better healing process so that we feel that we're able to go back to doing what we love to do. How do we overcome that?
It's going to take a little bit of time, but in the meantime, I think it's really important to step outside of the system. So if you don't feel supported in that system, right? Of course, Tom and I want the system to change. We want it to be able that any single man, woman, child raises their hand for help in any situation that they're in, whether it's work, school, or whatever it may be, that they're going to get that help without judgment. We love for our mental health to be in that place in 2021, but we're not there. So what do we do in the meantime? I think it's really critical to look at organizations like All Secure Foundation, other organizations. There's so many that you can go to for help, and it's outside of the system. Your boss will never know. Your chain of command will never know. When Tom started getting therapy, we didn't announce it to we were co-founders at that time of a elite special operations company. It's not like we put a memo out to the entire company saying, "Hey, we're getting some marital help," and everybody recognized that Tom's got a few anger issues that we're trying to hammer out. But we went and got the work done. We went to therapy appointments on nights, weekends. Of course, we let people know that it was never an issue. Oh my gosh, we put it out on Facebook to encourage others to do the same. But if the system isn't working for you, it can't be your excuse to stop. I think that's the important thing.
Well, I think you bring up a great point where you say, you said at some point you were looking for help, and a lot of organizations out there, and I'm not going to, say it's specific to female support groups, but most of them would say, if you're at that point in a relationship, you run. you run. You get away, you run, and you chose to stay and work at this, where a lot of people would have just ran, which is commendable because that opens the doors to so many other people to say, hey, you know what? It's not it's not like just some regular drunk on the corner that did physically abused or mentally abused. I mean, there's so many levels of abuse that could possibly happen that say, hey, you're not making excuses, because a lot of people would make excuses in that situation. And you identified that, no, I'm not making an excuse for the activity. I'm making an excuse for the cause. And let's change the cause, right? And let's work on that. Again, there's so many levels of what you've done.
It's not even excuses. It's an understanding of what we're asking these guys to do. I mean, and that goes for military. It goes for civil servants, and not just law enforcement. Use your fire, EMS.
Who are you?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Listen.
Oh, you just chimed in?
With all the technical difficulties going on, I should be seeking my own form of therapy right now. No, it's understanding what we're asking of our military and of our civil servants, and then how, I don't even know what the word is. Arrogant is not even the word. It is to just assume that these people just come back and insert themselves back into everyday life like it's nothing. I mean, even the stuff, like I said, that law enforcement sees on a daily basis, and the things that we ask our military to do, and then they come home and it's like, okay, now they're just going to go to the shop, right, and buy Lucky Charms like everybody else, like it's nothing. Like, no, and it shows you how detached, the average civilian is, and how in their own little world they are, and yeah, I guess maybe it is arrogance, that they don't even think.
And it's because civilians, since they're not in law enforcement or in the military, they just simply have a myopic view of what people in the military or in law enforcement actually go to.
Chris is big word than
I know.
Myopic. That's a big word.
Myopic.
So it's like me saying, "Oh, I'd like to be an astronaut, whatever," but an actual astronaut will tell me a different experience. So it's like, it's all. I mean,
so I know we touched on this earlier on the last show you guys were on. Do we feel that the military is doing enough? Are they doing enough for the men and women that do the shorter hitch, the 3 or 4 year hitch, and preparing them to go back into the world? Are they doing enough for the folks that are more career oriented when their career is over to go back into the world? I know the VA hospital is overwhelmed, and they're overwhelmed with physical injury. And I'm thinking that they're probably more concerned about the physical injuries to our veterans and not so much the mental ones. Obviously, we could say, we could always do more, but is it satisfactory? Is there neglect here?
I'll tell you, they're not doing more. They have plans in place. They have everything printed out and ready to go. They don't have money, especially right now. All the money's going for COVID relief. So
Good point. Good point.
We all know where that comes from right away.
Yep.
And so that's just cut out, and they're paying for all that. And they literally, in a week and a half ago, higher up on Fort Bragg asked us to stay anonymous, stay in the shadow, keep operating the way we are, because though they're telling everyone, go get help, nothing will happen to you, there are still Army plans that are in place that have not been changed yet, nor will be changed for a while. That if you check this block, oh, he had to go to hospital for drinking too much. Oh, well, if you have to go to the hospital, that means I have to check this block, which means you actually will get back in line, and it will affect your promotions or your job. So all of the time that we've been running around saying, the commanders are telling us, don't worry about it. And Jen's been telling everybody, they told me, they promised us, don't worry about it, go get help. Now those commanders are finding out that, well, if you follow protocol, something will happen to you, potentially. So they're saying, stay quiet, don't get into the big system. And I would say the same thing with law enforcement. No matter what they tell you, who knows what's going to happen. And I'm not going to get political in the federal government, take your guns away, you can't buy ammo and this and that, but find a way to do that, because of the couple of people that took to form a criminal act that really that was meant for a law that's going to come up and hinder a lot of people who need help to get past emotions and feelings versus actual mental illness and the inability to make proper decisions. They're terrified that they won't be able to defend themselves or buy weapons, so they're not going to be able. So you have to stay out of the system.
Yeah, we just don't want that roadblock of, hey, I'm afraid to go to command when there's therapists probably 3 blocks from your house, you know? That's what we do. We link people up with local connections, local resources, national, international help.
Well, I think a big difference between what you guys are doing and what the military might do and what other organizations might do is that you guys really concentrate on the families because the man or the woman that served that needs some help, they have family members that there's no way on God's green earth you can convince me that the family members walk away from this unscathed. All right, whatever the veteran is going through, the spouse is going through, the kids are going through. It might be a small little portion of it, but it affects them. They see it, they feel it, and the fact that you guys are targeting that as well is tremendous. Is tremendous because it's not like we talked earlier about cancer. If you have cancer, you have cancer. Your kids don't have cancer. Your wife or husband doesn't have cancer. But when you're going through the PTSD, what you might be going through, it affects your brothers and sisters. It affects your children. It affects your spouse. And, insurance, when you think about insurance, whether it be the VA or Geico or GHI or whatever it is, they help the affected individual that is diagnosed with whatever it is that we're talking about. They don't help the residual. They don't help the spouse and the kids. And you guys are really concentrating on that, which is tremendous. That's all part of that healing process. It's all part of that getting better because it's not just the veteran, right?
No, it can't be because then, you're only dealing with half the equation, right? And we have helped so many veterans where we're like, hey, we're going to send you off. One guy went for 14 weeks. And really, that's where our focus shifted very early on in the nonprofit was he went to get help. Like, hey, how is the wife? How's the kids back at home? And everyone looked at us like we were crazy for asking. And even the facility didn't have any measures in place to check on the family left behind. And I thought, you know what? These spouses are left behind all the time, and they have had to have enough of this. So I actually called that spouse and checked in on her. And yeah, she was very angry, very resentful. And after she had poured her heart out to me about what she had endured the last 22 years, I'm like, this woman needs to be in a clinic. She deserves, an award. She truly has given so much of her life for his career and so that he could do the things he did overseas. So there's tremendous amount of heartbreak, hurt, pain. There's a lot of domestic violence that's not talked about. That's associated with PTS. So when we say we want this to be a generational change, we're not just talking about the warriors, but for all of the American citizens who are suffering with secondary PTS, and there's a lot.
And there's really no data on that. I mean, you could run the numbers all day long and find between 64 and 6,600 veterans a year. There's no data on the spouses of veterans that commit suicide every year, and it's definitely directly related to the lifestyle that they have and what's going on in those four walls. But it's kind of neglected because you didn't serve. You know what? The spouse of that person served probably just as hard as the actual veteran that was there, and it should be recognized. And you guys are recognizing it, and that's amazing.
And also, why do you think veterans who suffer this PTSD are severely neglected in our current system? What do you think is that?
I think that, really the primary focus is getting war fighters over the war. And, the mindset that I was even working with 8 years ago was we don't train them to come home, we train them to go. So we're training them to fight overseas and to keep America protected and strong and safe and secure. And that's just kind of the price that's associated with it. And that was the mindset 10 years ago of, well, you knew what you were getting into, which is ridiculous. It's so toxic. Can you imagine taking, I talked to another guy from Black Hawk Down who was 19 at the time. And I'm like, can you imagine being 19 years old, you were 26, and thinking I'm not getting out of this alive, watching all of your friends killed, having 1,000 people surround you, and then you're just supposed to go home like, I'll go home and, like you said, get some Lucky Charms and go about life like it's normal.
Jen, I gotta tell you, when you said that, my hair. I mean, I don't even have hair. I shave my head, but my hair stands up. I hate that line. That line, probably because more often than not, it comes out of the mouths of the most ungrateful. Am I allowed to curse? Is this still a kid show? We started 15 minutes late.
It's not a kid's show.
We have 10 minutes. 9 o'clock, then you can curse.
Too bad. It comes out of the mouths of usually the most ungrateful fucking people I've ever seen on the planet. Oh, you knew. You signed up for this. You know what? You're right. We did. We did sign up for this. And you didn't. Which all that means to me is you owe a debt of gratitude. But because somebody else was willing to sign up for that and to take on everything that comes along with that does not free the other person who didn't from showing any gratitude for it, on top of the fact that nobody signs up to be a martyr. And something that Tommy was hitting on too before about, the extension of the family, it's so true. We do sign up for it. And the people, the men and women, sign up for the military, sign up for law enforcement, any kind of civil service. They love it on some level. And I think, what Tommy was hitting on is huge too, that a lot of people don't realize. We love it. Our families might not. They might not understand the way we feel about it, and they might not be as big of a fan of it. And to say, that they serve right along with us is on point, because there is a lot of patience, a lot of understanding, sometimes a lot of not understanding and not getting it. And especially on the family front, like I can tell you right now, I mean, my wife.
Your family's a mess, yeah.
My wife, all 5 foot of her, my wife carries the house, because of how much I'm invested in my job, and then the charity by extension, how much time is spent on that. She carries that house, and there aren't a lot of people that can do that, and Tommy, commending you for doing what you have done for your family and for Tom directly. I mean, that can't be overstated. I mean, it's huge because it's not common. What you've done, what you continue to do actually is uncommon. It really is amazing.
So what they're doing now, lots of speeches and traveling around and educating people is all great, right? It's amazing. But there's another level. There's another step here. Going to an event and speaking to a couple hundred people is great. It's amazing. Coming on the internet and talking to people is really great, and it's amazing. But having a place where folks can physically walk in and say, hey, I want to sit with you face to face and we can have a conversation is the next level of what All Secure is doing. So you guys want to tell us a little about, I know you have a 1.5 to 2 year come to fruition time for the next step in what All Secure is doing, but tell us.
I'm so excited. I even got giddy as you were talking about it. I'm like, wait.
And I was thinking, our board's going to shit.
That's right. We're not giving out secrets here.
No, we are super excited, and you're right. There's something to being face to face and eyeball to eyeball with people, and we really missed that in 2020. And getting back into face to face conversations, and having these meetings of, hey, if you build it, we'll come. And that's all we needed to hear, really. And so we are building a small facility or center, maybe. It's probably a better word. Facility sounds big and like I don't know, industrial. We're building cabins in the woods. So on a serene big property where guys can feel really, and gals. I always say guys, but that means guys and gals too. Where people can come and
We're all gonna get big
yes, I
now.
know. But you could come and feel anonymous because it's very private. You're not like unloading all of this heavy, dark stuff and then walking out in a strip mall, frankly, next to like a hardware store where you're going to bump into somebody from fifth group or something. You know, it still provides that anonymous feeling. It's in
So the idea is to have remote locations off the reservation, so to speak,
Yes.
where folks can come in, hang out, maybe spend a couple hours or a couple of days, and just get some good old fashioned therapy, a little kick in the ass, a little hug, get them back on track.
Right, yeah, right off post with odd hours to where, again, we're removing the excuses before
Nights,
work,
weekends.
lunch, evenings, and then weekends, and then that way you don't get the, well, I gotta work, that's where I got my hours, we're here. We're right off the post. Come on out, bring your family for the weekend and relax, and oh, by the way, we do our retreats here too.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I'll tell you what, I'm not even kidding. Like just hearing this story and your direction, I think that so I have a cabin up in the woods up in Binghamton, New York. It's a cabin, 120 acres. I think that if you logistically worked it out, you could probably get folks like me that would say, I'll donate my space for that. So, someone that needed a little bit of a weekend away with a therapist that was willing to travel up to, wherever that place was. And the owner of the cabin would say, hey, well, the house, yeah, I'm not going to be up there this weekend. You have use for it. Come out. Here's my quads. Here's my land. Go out and do a little space without having to have ownership of it. Getting people to sponsor those weekends, I think, is not that far-fetched. Because I know I would do it in a minute. I know a lot of cops in New York. I'm a hunter, so I've got I got space.
I was just going to say, Tommy, if that was an official offer, guys, lock him in on that right now. Listen, it's on tape now, Tom. There you go.
It's an official offer.
Outstanding.
If the program gets to that point where it becomes like almost like Airbnb type thing, or where you can work that out and get folks to donate their space for that use, I think you would have an overabundance of people that would love to donate their space for that cause.
Yeah, and there's a power in that. There's an organization, I just forgot their name, Operation Freedom, that does something kind of similar to that. They have 4 to 5 couples that basically people who want to donate it's everything literally from yachts
No, they
to
have huge yachts, these
houses,
mansions,
to
like
cabins.
10 couples go and just.
I thought I was being original. Son of a
Yeah.
bitch.
So yeah, I mean, I think anytime you can get out into nature, anytime you can take that pause and that break,
Yep.
it's hugely
Absolutely.
helpful. It's hugely helpful, and I'm sure you're right. There's probably a ton of generous people like yourself who would be willing to donate their land or their property for a weekend or a week, and it would make a huge difference in the
For a
lives
tax
of-
write-off.
Right? There you go.
Honestly, no one really, at that point, no one cares about the tax write-off. They're like, hey, you know what? I'm not going to be up there that weekend anyway, so if it can be used to help some folks, go for it. All Secure Foundation is your foundation, but you also, the book, Arsenal of Hope, Tactics for Taking on PTSD Together, that's Amazon?
Amazon, Barnes and Noble, our website, independent little bookshops.
Anyone that'll sell it. Tell us about founder, tell us about Virago.
So Virago was really born out of the need to connect military spouses and doing it again outside of the system. So Tom and I would go speak, and I'm like, hey, I'll tag on the FRT Family Readiness Group, talk along with it. So I'm making sure that we're communicating, educating, and creating awareness with the spouses. We know they're a critical component of healing. We know that they need healing. They're great at identifying changes in their spouse, which is huge on suicide prevention. So let's get the spouses in, and literally, like 3 people would show up. and it was like the 3 organizers. And I'm like, why don't you guys participate? And really that system's kind of broken too. And so I said, hey, that's fine, that's broken, we'll create our own. And so we're doing that. We're linking up people who, these spouses are all very, very different too, from all different kinds of walks of life. And it's just fascinating. And already it's just sparked so many great conversations. Spouses are reaching out saying, I didn't know I needed it this bad, but this has really opened my eyes to things at home. Even somebody who was on the verge of divorce, we just found out, joined our group like 2 weeks ago, and found that common thread in the group, found out that she wasn't the only one going through it, saw other people like myself and these other spouses saying there is a light at the end of the tunnel. It seems really dark. It might take a while to get there, but you can get there. And she reached out saying, I'm not going to file anymore. So it's so powerful to have your tribe. And really, this is a group that, although there's a lot of groups that say, oh, we're a military support group, but a lot of women don't really feel connected to those groups.
So when do you guys think are you allowed to disclose the location, or at least the city of the first all secure location, brick and mortar type place, and a time frame that you think that actually might launch?
So we are launching at the Home of Special Operations in Fort Bragg. So it'll be right in that area. And we're looking at really an 18-month, really aggressive time frame, because, Tom and I are the kind of people that once we put our mind to something, everyone keeps telling us it's like a 3-year plan, and we're like, we'll do it in 18 months. And everyone thinks we're crazy, but we'll do it in 18 months.
If you count 22 a day, we don't have time to wait that long.
So is there a fundraising campaign for that? I mean, obviously, that's not cheap, and the government might be able to help out a little bit with at least the property portion of it, the land. Do you have like a fundraising campaign to raise money for the actual buildings and whatnot?
Yes.
Have you gotten that far?
Yeah, we'll be starting that. We actually have a company this is what they do, is they build out these campaigns, and they kind of help us, and they help these nonprofits, kind of smaller size like us, fulfill our dreams. So we just started working with them. They do feasibility and sustainability studies and make sure that we're getting everything correctly, and helping us do that goal. So that will be coming out shortly. We don't have that launched quite yet.
So what's the website for All Secure?
allsecurefoundation.org.
allsecurefoundation.org. You can buy the book Arsenal of Hope: Tactics for Taking on PTSD Together on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and some of your smaller bookstores is there. Does Virago have a website as well?
That's all linked in.
It's all connected?
Yep.
So if our followers, our supporters here, go to allsecurefoundation.com, they can find all the information they need to help out?
Yeah, and
It's on
we're
the
pretty
comments?
active on Facebook as well. So.
All right, great. Guys, I tell you, when we had Tom on a couple months ago, and he had said, "Oh, Jen's cooking for the kids and doing stuff. She might pop in a little bit later." We were so thrilled, and again, for this interview and for hanging out with us, I am beyond. I'm blown away by the work that you guys are doing. It's so important. The what you're giving back is tremendous, and I can't say enough. And I know anyone that's listening that served in the military, served in the police department, kind of get what you're doing, and this is just so above and beyond. I'm really excited for you guys. I'm actually more excited for myself that I can actually visit you guys one day, and we can sit and talk and have a drink and a cigar. Well, maybe not a cigar for you guys, but for me, I
So selfish, Tom.
Yeah, I am very selfish. I give back a lot. I try to do as much as I can, and I love hanging out with folks that kind of get that and do the same thing. So, if you guys were here, I'd hug both of you so tightly. Probably Tom more than Jen, just because he could probably crush my neck if I squeezed Jen too hard. But I would.
No, it's
Definitely look forward to meeting you guys in person.
It is amazing work that you're doing, and honestly, Jen, I mean, thank you, on behalf of all the spouses, and that goes either for men or women. We say it all the time, we're only as productive as the people who support us, our support circle around us. The most, personalizing it to law enforcement, some of the best cops have some of the best families at home. And it translates, and I'm a firm believer in that. We're only as productive as our families will allow us to be. So the work that you're doing, the support that you're giving, and again, for everybody like you, everybody in that position doing that, thank you. I mean, really, it's amazing work. It's thankless work, just as thankless as the work that, we signed up for. See that line? That's it. That line just... It's going to stick with me all night now.
It's thankless as the work that Jacob does in the booth.
Oh, well, please, yeah, and we apologize. I see. Oh, that's it, Jacob.
No, I said thankless. That means you don't get enough credit. We were saying you don't get enough credit.
You run your own show, Tom.
No, you misunderstood it. I said you don't get enough credit. The comment was that you don't get enough credit.
Yeah, I know.
And I don't know, and I don't know if
Your mic's muted.
Hold on.
yeah, I don't know if there's other organizations that does what you guys are doing. So I mean, I gotta give you credit where it's due on
It's
this.
amazing. It's amazing.
All right, so since the delay that's going on here, as we're talking, I keep looking at the screen, and I just see them constantly laughing at stuff that we talked about 30 seconds ago, which tells me that you guys are having a good time.
It was 30 minutes ago.
30 seconds, which says you're having a good time. And hopefully you guys will come back on, especially as it gets closer to fruition of the buildings. And as you find that you have bigger things going on, and you need to spread that word, just reach out. Just reach out, guys, because we love having you on, and we love to further what you're doing. So please use us for whatever you need, dude. Seriously.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really
Oh, absolutely.
appreciate it. A lot of
All right.
fun.
We're gonna take a quick break. I say 30 seconds. Josh says 3 minutes. Arsenal of Hope: Tactics for Taking on PTSD Together is the book. AllSecureFoundation.com is the website. .org. Oh, son of a.
It's in the comments.
Son of a.
It's on the comments.
Fine. AllSecureFoundation.org.
It's in the comments.
Great. I don't look at the screen.
Good job, Tommy.
And Virago, guys, keep doing what you're doing. God bless you both, and really thank you for what you do, man. It's truly appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we'll talk to you soon. Jacob, wrap it up. Wah, 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 wah.
If you are searching for a doctor that truly cares about your overall
They
health
were
and
awesome.
well-being,
They were
contact
awesome.
Dr.
They
Alex
made
at
up for it,
Tri-State
even
Health
though
and
Jacob
Wellness.
fucked up.
No, actually, you know what?
For
We found-
years, Dr. Alex has been treating law enforcement professionals and their families while focusing on one-on-one care so you never feel rushed. All necessary testing can be conducted during your visit, and they feature flexible hours and appointments to accommodate alternating work schedules. Tri-State Health and Wellness is conveniently located in Fair Lawn, New Jersey. Contact Dr. Alex today by visiting www.bluetristate.com. Mortgages for everyday heroes. From Michelle Hendershot and Homebridge Financial Services. If you're looking to purchase a home or refinance an existing mortgage, Michelle Hendershot can assist you every step of the way. With over 10 years of experience assisting law enforcement officers with their dream of owning a home, the choice is simple. Contact Michelle Hendershot today. Visit www.mortgagesforblue.com. Are you tired of sleeping alone each night? Feeling sluggish during the day? Is your snoring keeping your spouse awake at night? If you find yourself spending too much time on the couch, maybe it's time to visit Dr. Michael Doblin of At Home Sleep Solutions. Dr. Doblin is the preferred sleep apnea doctor of New Jersey's law enforcement officers. With the help of a custom-fitted oral device, you can finally say goodbye to noisy, antiquated sleep apnea machines. For more information and to schedule an appointment today, contact Dr. Michael Doblin. Visit www.bluesnore.com. Moment of Silence, Inc., along with Blue Suicide, is a nonprofit organization founded to support and raise awareness about the epidemic of suicides amongst law enforcement, military personnel, and first responders. For more information on how you can help, visit momentofsilenceinc.org. If you're in the market for a new vehicle or a certified used vehicle, then visit Fetty Auto Group, located at the junction of Route 46 and Route 3 in Clifton, New Jersey. Fetty Auto Group stands shoulder to shoulder with the men and women in blue. Stop by and ask for Troy Mall and ask about the offers for first responders. For more information, visit FettyAuto.com. That's FettyAuto.com. The Blue Magazine, the law enforcement publication by law enforcement professionals for the men and women of law enforcement. The unfiltered voice of law enforcement. TheBlueMagazine.com. Are you patrolling with the pig? If not, you're doing it wrong. Check out all the newest swine swag at ProudPig.blue. They are dirty by design. Check it out now. Visit www.proudpig.blue for all your swine swag. Visit www.proudpig.blue. Resumes by Joe, owned and operated by retired NYPD second grade detective Joe Federa. With over 20 years of professional resume writing experience and focusing on translating what we do as cops into language that the corporate world can appreciate. We put an emphasis on ensuring that your cover letter and resume will be best received by the applicant tracking system used by most companies today. Check out our website at www.resumesbyjoe.com or call Joe directly at 347-992-4523. Don't forget to ask about the 50% discount for BBO members and most unions across the country. Give us the job of helping you get the job. Contact Resumes by Joe today. If you're a member of the law enforcement profession and are looking to establish long-lasting business relationships with businesses that are blue-friendly, it's time to visit visitblue.com. Visitblue.com features some of the best doctors, lawyers, realtors, as well as other service providers, such as home improvement and financial services. If you are looking for reliable, trustworthy service providers, visit visitblue.com. That's www.visitblue.com. Founded in 2014 by retired NYPD police officer Michael Burke, Brothers Before Others is a national 501c3 law enforcement charity comprised solely of both sworn and retired police officers. Since their inception, Brothers Before Others has sent floral arrangements to the services of all line-of-duty deaths, regardless of where in the country they occur, having spent over $350,000 to date. While the National Flower Fund remains their cornerstone, their benevolence has since grown well beyond that, even into the civilian world. For more information on how to get involved or to donate, visit brothersbeforeothers.org, or you can visit their public forums on all social media platforms by searching Brothers Before Others. Founded in 2016 by professional musician Neil Giraldo, 3-Chord Bourbon has developed a process that is defined as the perfectly tuned taste, blending carefully selected whiskey bourbon and rye whiskey stocks from Kentucky, Tennessee, and Indiana. Designed to be enjoyed with friends and family, 3-Chord Bourbon will leave you with the same feeling you experience after hearing that perfect song. You'll know their whiskeys are right from the very first sip. For more information on 3-Chord Bourbon and available merchandise, visit 3chordbourbon.com. Line of Duty Cigars, owned and operated by retired NYPD Detective Tom Werther. Visit lineofdutycigars.com for our handmade Nicaraguan cigars, custom ashtrays, custom humidors, and custom flask sets. Also, when you place an order, you choose the law enforcement, first responder, or veteran charity, and Line of Duty Cigars donates 10% to that organization. Planning a special event? Contact us today. Visit www.lineofdutycigars.com. And now, back to the Blue Room Podcast on the BlueBroadcastNetwork.com.
And And I think we're back. And Jen's taking the clothes off. Awesome. Family show's out the window. Jen's stripping down. Family show's out the window.
Daniel, what I do?
It's booby time. All right, guys. First piece was great. Jen and Tom Satterly, amazing guests, friends of the show, doing some really awesome stuff. But the show here, we can't do this without sponsors. We can't do this without the owner of the studio, Danny DeValle, who's sitting to my left, or your right. I'm not really sure which way this works. We can't do this without the folks like this. So we have Dr. Alex with us, with Tri-State Health and Wellness. Dr. Alex, welcome to the show.
Thank you, guys. It's
Thank you
pleasure.
so much for what you've done, what you continue to do for law enforcement community, what you do for the medical community. Tell us what you do. I mean, general practitioner.
Yes, I'm general. So thank you guys for having me here. So I really appreciate what you do for everyone, for community. So what we try to do, we try to help you out as much as it's possible.
So where is the practice located?
In Fair Lawn, New Jersey.
Fair Lawn? So
Yes.
Fair Lawn. So basically, the practice is in Fair Lawn. You come in, you got a cold, you got any sort of illness or ailment, you guys can take care of that.
Yes, everything.
Is what you do.
One-stop shop, yep.
Danny, you want to? How did this relationship start? How did this grow? It's very difficult. I own a
Yeah.
business. You own a business.
Yeah.
When you go to folks and say, "Hey, you want to be part of what we're doing? We can give you some support," and then you return that support. How did that relationship? Is there a connection here?
Dr. Alex has been with us for I think over 8-9 years, and he is a man of few words. He's funny as hell. He cracks on everyone. I have to say, but the reason why I bring this up is because when I met him years ago, I realized that he was the law enforcement doctor that we all needed. He was that guy. He was very down to earth. He knew his shit. He loved having a conversation. He loved asking you about what you're doing, and I can't believe how many lives he has saved in these years. I mean, literally, Doc.
So my GP where I live is also so in the New York City Police Department we have department surgeons. They're doctors like you are that have practitioners. The general practitioner, they have a practice somewhere, and if you get sick, if you call in sick and you have to go to Lefrak City to report your illness, you're going to sit with a doctor like yourself, and who is my doctor in Rockaway where I live. And I feel like this is not on, and I'm hearing we're good. His name is Dave Lichtenstein, and the first time I went in there to the department surgeon, and now I'm completely off, and I have nothing.
Yeah, no.
Oh, there it is. It's back. Great. Guess who's back? Back again. Tommy's back. So I went in there, and I was like, I didn't know that my GP was a department surgeon, and I walked in there, and it was Dr. Lichtenstein, and I was like, oh my God. And he was like you are, like Danny says, like a regular guy. I hunt and I fish. Dr. Dave was a hunt and he fishes. His license plate on his truck was to the farm. Like he had a property upstate. He hunts and we would just kind of hang out and jive. And I'm like, wow, that's the guy. And I didn't know that of him as my regular GP from my neighborhood. I found that out when I went to the police department. And the police department, and Danny can attest to this, is that we're a little off. So when you get someone in a position that you're in, and you get it, and you can have fun, and you can make jokes, and be like, wow, yeah, I totally get this guy.
My mic is
Yeah, totally off. He shuts you off.
But you know what I was going to tell you, Tom? So this is Dr. Alex is the doctor that when you have a rash anywhere in your body and you're scared as shit, that initial moment when you actually identify that rash and you don't know what to do, he is that doctor that you can actually call and say, Doc, I'm going to send you a picture of this rash.
Fully confidential.
Please tell me what this is and how can I get rid of it. And I'm not saying that this is me talking. I'm just saying this is the type of situations that.
Speaking for a friend.
Correct. So this is what Dr. Alex.
Christian.
I mean, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like, I mean, this is what he has become to, not 100, not 200, but over 400 officers have been with Dr. Alex, and this is who he is. He's just loved by everyone.
But I think as a, I don't care what age you are and what sex you are, you have to have you have to be comfortable with your doctor. When you go in and you say, hey, you're going to say rash. I have a rash in a place I don't really want to talk about. No, I'm serious. Like Jen's shaking her head, but your gynecologist, like I don't care who your gynecologist is, whether it's a male or female, you have to feel a little uneasy showing them the goods. So you go to the Dr. Alex and go, hey, here's the deal. He's like, I fixed this, and then he fixes this without and make you feel comfortable.
That's how it should be, honestly.
Of course it should be. Of course, and I think most doctors are that way, but we feel like there's that stigma of like, I don't really want to show this guy my fancy parts.
And bottom line is, he knows his shit. He really does know what he is doing. He understands it. So I mean, one thing is having a great personality, but the flip to him is he knows his shit.
Thank you, guys.
Doc, what's the craziest? I mean, tell us about your daily routine there. Like, what do you?
Oh yeah. I really want to know about
without mentioning names, obviously. The HIPAA laws.
HIPAA. No, first of all, not everyone who came has a rashes, right?
Only Danny.
Don't worry, yeah.
Only Danny has a rash.
Everyone, yeah. We do just regular stuff too.
Did you name it Danny's rash? Every time
Yeah, Danny's friend's rash.
Yes, Danny's rash. Yeah, that's it.
Danny's friend's rash.
But there's been times that, again, as a doctor, you see stuff and you're like, oh, what is the like craziest, like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm seeing this moment?
Oh, it's a lot of crazy moments. So that's what we do for living.
Give us
right?
one. Give us one.
Oh, yeah.
No names.
No names.
Yeah. Wow, that foot's not supposed to be blue.
Listen, I've seen. Let me tell you what I'm sure Dr. Alex has seen. I mean, some guys go in there and they're very anxious to get to the problem and take their pants down. Like, Doc, how many pants have you seen down in your office?
Some people have like 3 pair of pants, sometimes 4.
Oh God, how ridiculous!
Process, right? I don't know why, but it happens.
Ridiculous, honestly.
But they drop them pretty quickly.
No,
for you.
not really, right? It takes some time, so you have to sit and wait. So.
They see Dr. Alex, the first thing they want to do is drop their pants.
Exactly, right.
Insurance. You take all forms of insurance?
Yeah, we try. Yeah, we take all
Medicare, Medicaid, GHI.
Right.
Well, we're out of network.
Yeah, but yeah.
Out of network.
Out of network. So what does that mean?
So we take most insurances as long as you have an out of network plan.
So you have an out-of-network plan. That means that the
So we don't take HMOs. We don't take Medicaid. So you have to be strictly out of network.
So if you're out of network and you say you have a Medicaid, they pay and then Medicaid will reimburse them. Maybe. I don't want to falsely say anything.
No, Medicaid
we can't. By law, we can't. Yeah. They have to go with an in-network provider.
Go, right. So what are some of your in-network providers?
We don't have any in-network. We're strictly out of network.
The majority of law enforcement in the state of New Jersey is out of network, and
so how does that work?
So you have like pretty much in New York, if you get sick, you have to go to a primary doctor. Then he gives you a referral to. So in Jersey, if you need a service, you can go directly to that doctor. You don't need that main doctor to refer you out. So you have options.
Oh, so Jersey guys are used to it. They know exactly what out of network means.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means because I've never gone to anyone out of network. When I ordered my wife on the internet, she was out of network. I paid the extra fee. I was good to go.
Good.
Damn.
So, doctor, how many years of experience you have in the field? How do you start it?
So I think we started in 1997, 98, yep, and New Jersey from 2000, yeah. So basically, it's 21 years.
Wow. Follow-up question. If you're going to ask a question, follow-up question.
So why motivated you to become a doctor? Like, why you chose that profession?
Oh, it was a long time ago. Almost like how many? 56 years. I already forget. Well, because both of my parents was a doctor. So
let's skip the whole medical bullshit.
Right.
Where were you born?
Russia.
When did you come here?
I'll break you.
Russia, 1990.
Privyat.
1990. Medical school in Russia or
In Russia and here.
in Russia. She came here,
And I had to go again.
figured out, hey, this is what I want to do.
Yep.
Why New Jersey?
New Jersey, because actually I got married and my wife used to live in New Jersey.
So you had family here, and they thought,
Exactly.
hey, this is a really great place for me to do what I do.
Exactly, yeah.
And this practice started when? 94?
No, 19 in New Jersey. I think it's 1999. Yep.
99?
Tell Tom to stop asking hard questions, Doc.
I tried to check my memory.
Okay,
Mini-mental evaluation, right?
okay. So, do you recall what was life like in Russia at the time?
Well, it was kind of hard. So it was communist. So the
Right,
That's why he's here.
KGB, everything. Exactly.
Listen, I forgot to tell you, Dr. Alex knows his shit, by the way. This guy's very informed in everything.
He's
So,
locked and loaded.
Yes. Doc, tell me your gun collection.
Oh, you have a gun collection?
Oh, dude.
Oh, boy, tell me about that.
Yeah, it's
What kind of guns you have?
No, I mean it's not like gun collection. So I like World War II guns. So basically
Okay,
it's more history.
like the Thompson.
Exactly, Thompson, yeah, and Field, right? Yep.
Beautiful.
But they're not in his house, though, if anyone's listening.
And it's not a collection. He only has a few, he said.
Just one.
Just one.
But what's your favorite modern day assault rifle? Because my favorite one is a
Yeah.
Scar L.
It's too sophisticated. I think AKM, Russian one, is the best.
AKM.
Still, right? Still.
Well, all we care about is that he can look at your rash and he can make it better.
Correct.
Right, right, exactly.
That's why we're here.
Especially if you look at the optic side, right?
So what's the ad? Is there a website or an
Yeah,
address?
we have
Or
website,
how do we
everything.
figure out?
It's I'm going to respond. Dr. Alex is like, have you ever seen the gifted people, like the...
He's gifted.
Gifted.
Like, really, not,
I
but
refer,
really...
I refer to Christian as the gifted
not
people.
special. I'm talking about really
Oh, gifted, not special. I'm sorry.
The difference between gift
And they're very like I don't know, shy or whatever. Dr. Alex is that. I mean, he's very he's the best doctor. And then
Little bit autistic.
we should have got him drunk before you came here, Doc.
So for me, I feel more comfortable going to a doctor with an accent when
Yeah.
I come to them with an ailment like a rash
Exactly.
or a drip. If they have an accent,
right?
like I figure they're not going to judge me. So with the Russian accent, that's a drip. I can fix that. I feel like that's going to make me feel more comfortable.
Exactly.
Then,
Feel
then,
love.
yeah.
That's how-
Then a guy from
Yes,
Queens
so-
is like, oh, it's dripping. Hey, we're gonna cut this off, and I'm gonna tell all the girlfriends that you had. Like it's.
It's true.
I like that. I like your
So
accent.
wait, did you just admit that you have a drip? I mean, did that?
Is that what just happened?
I know, really. It's not a HIPAA violation if you talk
listen,
about it.
I had
like that
listen,
sound effect with.
I had a drip. I went to Dr. Alex. I no longer have a drip.
First of all,
That's all I'm
what's a
saying.
drip? First of all, what is that? What's a drip?
Next.
So,
Doc, Doc, in your world, let's not the
Next.
professional here. In your world, Doc, what is?
yeah,
Moving on.
we went a little bit too far. Unfortunately, no more drip and no more pipe. So
All I can say, it doesn't burn anymore when I pee.
exactly.
I went to Dr. Alex. It doesn't burn
And
anymore
it's
when I pee.
gone. Problem solved.
Gun,
Hey,
right?
Doc, I have a question. Do you have any health tips right now? Like,
Protection,
okay, I mean, we can start with that.
No, not for that. Not for that.
abstinence.
In general.
No, anything like anything with COVID. Or, I mean,
Still wash hands, wear mask, got vaccine.
so you think you should get the vaccine?
I got my second shot on Friday.
Friday.
I got my second shot on Friday, and what happened to me? Nothing.
Nothing.
That's because you're
yeah.
dead
Nothing.
inside. You're
no
dead
fever.
inside.
No headache. Nothing.
You're dead inside.
Okay,
Doc,
I was
hold-
drinking wine at 12 o'clock in the
Okay,
afternoon.
so-
Doc, hold your ears. It's because you're a piece of shit, bro. Let's be real about
Because
it.
my heart is cold.
You're dead inside.
So-
yeah.
Or he
I have
could be a
nothing.
Viking. Maybe he's a Viking.
So, doctor,
Skull.
when the first vaccine came out, did you have any doubts? And if so, what were the doubts? What was your main concern?
Oh, trust me, when first vaccine came, I have a lot of doubts because nobody knows what's going on. So, and actually, to be honest with you, so I just skipped my turn, so I didn't do it. But later on, I kind of realized that I made mistake because I just got COVID myself. So, and after all, I realized, I better do vaccine.
It's a tough question though for a doctor in the medical profession to say, like, Johnson & Johnson, which is the one-shot vaccination, versus the Pfizer or Moderna, where they have two. It's kind of hard because if you actually publicly make a statement on any of them, and then some of the people that follow you,
right, exactly,
they suffer from it. That's going to hurt. So we won't ask what your preference is on that.
Well, no, I'm not saying.
Because me personally, I had the Pfizer twice, and if I didn't have any of it, and they said, "Hey, here's Johnson & Johnson once," I would take that. Just because it's only one.
Well,
shot.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying what was his main concern when the vaccine came out? Now we're hearing people are dying.
Right.
Well, certain people have died after they took the shot, or some people have contracted COVID after they took the shot. So it's like.
So most doubt was lack of information, so we didn't know a lot about that, unfortunately. So
if Christian has we're going to pick an ailment. I don't even know, chlamydia. How would you treat Christian if he had chlamydia?
So
what is
depends where they're located.
That's actually great news, chlamydia, right? Because it's better than herpes.
Down could
there.
Be in the butt.
Down there.
It could be even in the eyes.
Ooh.
What about Ebola?
Ebola, yeah. Hopefully we're not gonna see it.
Hey Doc, let me ask something. I remember
like live WebMD.
I'm
dying of Ebola.
Hopefully, right. We're not gonna witness
Doc,
that.
I'm sorry that I feel privileged. I want to treat you like Dr. Fauci right now. I have a lot of COVID questions.
Yes, sir.
But Doc, please explain. Remember that there was a time I went to the office, right? I think it was probably the first month of COVID or second. It was like very scary times in your office.
I remember.
It was very, very scary times there, and some of our guys actually didn't make it, right? You know that, and you saw that, right? And how was that? Because just the few times I had to go in there, it was just such a crazy feeling in that office.
No, basically, because nobody knows what's going on, so it's always kind of scary. But what you have to do your job. So. Basically.
Did you ever think like, nah, I'm not coming in right now?
No, you can't think like that.
No,
nobody in the office thought like that.
Yeah, you can be scared. Exactly.
It's your duty as a doctor to be in the front lines. So.
Because problem is if you're scared, that's it. You're definitely gonna get something. Because fear would kill you, not the COVID.
Well, Christian just said it's at this front line. Like a cop can't say, "Hey, I can't go to work." A fireman can say, "I can't." A nurse or a doctor can't say, "I can't do this." It sucks, and you expose yourself, but it's what you do.
Yeah, it's what
you take precautions, and you make it work. Right? You make it work.
Nobody at that office, including Dr. Alex, stopped being themselves during that time. We had one of my guys go for unrelated stuff, Eddie, and he was laughing because. Here, like Danny was saying, it's crazy there. It's almost like a scene out of E.T., the way everybody's dressed in all the gear that they're dressed in. And here's Doc say, no, make yourself some coffee. Make it like he's still being like it's still that family.
Calm.
We try to keep it as normal as
calm during the storm, basically.
I mean, this was us for a long time in the office.
Damn.
Which one is you?
E.T.
I don't know. Figure it out. Where's Waldo?
That's it.
And why is the booth's face so red? Wow. Look how red his cheeks are.
It's a HIPAA violation. I can't talk about it.
Hey Doc, let me ask something. While COVID time was happening, was there anyone going there for issues that were not related to COVID?
Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, so that's why we try to keep open. Problem is there was some moments when, according to again CDC, it was a little bit confused. So some days you can see only people who had COVID. Some days you're not supposed to mix them with people who have other issues. So, but we figure it out. So we try to make everybody like with
telehealth,
telehealth, right? So we try
for a long time,
everyone.
we were just seeing COVID patients, having them wait in the car. They would call us, disinfect the rooms. They would come in once the room was ready.
Has anyone ever left their weapon in your gun lockers overnight?
No.
They don't have gun lockers.
No, yeah, we do.
They should have legit gun lockers.
Gun lockers, yeah.
Pull up the
Straight
photo.
up. Straight up legit gun lockers.
You have gun lockers?
Yes, we do.
Engineer, I'd pull up.
All right, guys, listen. If you're not convinced, this is the law enforcement doctor.
Yes.
They have gun lockers.
Exactly.
You can come in, lock up your gun in the locker, go see the doctor. He can check your temperature orally or anally, and then come back and you can get your gun.
Exactly.
Holy
Still
crap.
there.
Awesome.
Still there.
Yeah, that's like VIP service right there.
Doc, do you ever stop talking like a Russian? Like, do you go home and just talk normal, and you just is like?
No, he must.
Did act?
No.
No, he must break you.
Yeah, could you say that, Doc? I would break you. I would like to see it. Yeah, Doc.
I must break you.
Nah, that was fake. No, do it authentically, like an actual.
Actually, yeah, I must break you.
Oh. Can you
That's
speak
his
Russian?
authentic
One
self.
sentence in Russian. Can you speak?
Russian.
One sentence.
Я тебя убью.
And actually, you know what?
That means
I'm
you're a
glad-
dick. He just said you're a
I'm
dick in
gonna
Russian.
kill you, right? I must break you, right?
Doc, can you settle this once and for all? When Christian got his COVID test,
COVID test.
did he cry?
Like baby.
Did you sing for him?
No, he sang to me. He sang to me.
Like baby.
Because
Danny,
he
I
didn't
swear
get
to
it, right?
No,
But it was okay.
but
Done. Dude, you're done. He just said you cried.
no,
like a
but
baby.
did that came out negative though?
Exactly,
That
but
doesn't know. It
but
doesn't
said
mean-
like
that's
baby.
why you cry like babies
baby.
because you like irritate the nose. So that's why it was.
How
like
did you
kind of-
test him?
So, no real normal way through the nose. Oh my god! We didn't have like Chinese model yet.
Doc, you work next to a lot of beautiful women. Do you ever get tempted? I know people get in trouble for that, but I'm just saying. Do you ever get tempted
do
to
what?
maybe
Dr.
I don't
Cuomo?
know.
Doc, as your
Doc-
attorney,
Dr.
you don't have to
Cuomo?
answer that.
Yeah,
You don't have to answer.
Doc, you ever get tempted to I don't know, maybe take an extra look? Not even nothing. Just take an extra look sometimes.
Why not? Yeah.
All right, we're gonna wrap this up before he loses this fucking license.
You don't got an engineer. You're looking at me.
Where's the engineer?
Keep going.
Jacob, get back here.
Good questions, Danny.
I know.
Danny, I like it. Keep
Great,
going. What else do you
great
got?
questions. If you really want to lose your sponsors, they're great questions.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just saying.
Doc,
This is
anything
how
else,
we
Doc?
this is how
it.
he keeps the sponsors.
Yeah, no, Doc, this is the best. Again, this is the best doctor that. In all the years that I've been blessed to meet a lot of people, Dr. Alex and his family and his staff is, I'm telling you, it's anyone that I have brought there, anyone, they immediately understand what type of situation
Yes.
they feel when they're there immediately.
Yeah.
So
Dude, they 100% get the law enforcement family, and it's the same thing. I have guys. I drive an hour to go there, and I have guys that drive more than an hour.
it's VIP, man, straight up.
Specifically to go there.
Yeah, but you need to know, it's very important, why it pees, or when you pee it burns. So you want to know that answer right away. So I get
we've
what
already
you're...
established. Chris has chlamydia.
No, you're good. You're good.
You're good.
Off the
Ready,
record,
ready, Christian,
right?
ready? It's called the clap.
What
called
is
the
the
cloud.
drip?
Yeah, what is that?
Nothing.
Never. Let's
It's fine.
just move on.
Good. That's
Yeah.
good.
We're going to
right.
take a 6 minute.
Tom, you think I'm joking with you? We don't have an
Where-
engineer right now. You,
All right, then I'm
keep
going
it
on.
rolling.
I'm going.
I look like an engineer, but
Well,
if
well,
I start
Josh,
touching
I write-
buttons in here.
Well, Josh, there's
I-
nothing wrong being a producer and an engineer at the same time. Multitasking, you know?
I
Oh,
write this show, and we're going to go right into the next piece then, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, let's
No break.
Oh,
like
yeah.
it.
Do we do this one, or do we do...
Wait, I hear footsteps.
Derek Chauvin.
I hear.
Oh, Derek.
Wait, you're-
Oh,
No,
No, Derek
you're
Chauvin.
saved.
Yeah,
You're-
Derek Chauvin's a big piece right now.
But
Oh,
you're
hell
saved.
yeah, it is.
You're
It is.
saved.
So-
Oh, look at now. Tommy's ignoring you now.
No, I'm not
Oh,
ignoring
shit.
you.
Oh shit.
I'll just go ahead.
Oh shit.
We'll go right into, and this is actually a really good piece for three civilians that were not in law enforcement. No?
Right.
Done?
Right.
Two?
One.
You motherfuckers.
Oh.
See that? You threaten me with a good time, and then you pull it away.
It's gonna be a Doc. Do you have any final words besides "I will break you"?
So kind of it's okay.
Website.
It's about COVID.
Website.
Visit-
Website.
Break together.
I was gonna say visit bluetristate.com.
Where do I say that?
TriState.com.
BlueTriState.com.
Yep.
Dr. Alex.
Dr.
Guys,
Alex.
Can't go wrong.
Never.
He's so going to check my temperature at the end of the segment.
But before we let him go, now that we have an engineer, could you show him the picture of the gun lockers? Because nobody believed. Tommy didn't believe. I shouldn't say nobody.
I didn't say I didn't believe it. I just
Yeah, you actually got it. No one ever said that. No one said that.
Also, real quick, while he pulls that up, if any of you guys...
He can pull it up real quickly.
If any of you guys ever need anything, you can contact me directly. Call me, text me, 551-399-6521. If you need to come and see Dr. Alex or Jose or Jenny or even Mark, our physical therapist.
And you're actually doing the seminars for post-COVID. Anyone that had COVID, they have realized that it's causing some clots, and clots obviously is not good. So Dr. Alex was just explaining to me that he is screening a lot of people that.
See, I always thought that clots were good.
No, not here.
There I go.
Depends where. So.
I thought clots were good.
So you are the clot remover, Doc.
Right, exactly.
You've got clot, I take care of it.
I kill it.
I clean it.
I kill your clot.
I burn
Do we have someone in the booth now? We're good? Don't give me that look. Don't give me that look. Fuck Verizon.
Yeah, fuck Verizon Files.
We're going to take a quick 3, 4, 5, 8, 12, 15-minute break, and we'll be back real soon. Jacob, take us out.
If you are searching for a doctor that truly cares about your overall health and well-being, contact Dr. Alex at Tri-State Health and Wellness. For more than 11 years, Dr. Alex has been treating law enforcement professionals and their families while focusing on one-on-one care so you never feel rushed. All necessary testing can be conducted during your visit, and they feature flexible hours and appointments to accommodate alternating work schedules. Tri-State Health and Wellness is conveniently located in Fair Lawn, New Jersey. Contact Dr. Alex today by visiting www.bluetristate.com. Mortgages for everyday heroes. From Michelle Hendershot and Homebridge Financial Services. If you're looking to purchase a home or refinance an existing mortgage, Michelle Hendershot can assist you every step of the way. With over 10 years of experience assisting law enforcement officers with their dream of owning a home, the choice is simple. Contact Michelle Hendershot today. Visit www.mortgagesforblue.com. Are you tired of sleeping alone each night? Feeling sluggish during the day? Is your snoring keeping your spouse awake at night? If you find yourself spending too much time on the couch, maybe it's time to visit Dr. Michael Doblin of At Home Sleep Solutions. Dr. Doblin is the preferred sleep apnea doctor of New Jersey's law enforcement officers. With the help of a custom-fitted oral device, you can finally say goodbye to noisy, antiquated sleep apnea machines. For more information and to schedule an appointment today, contact Dr. Michael Doblin. Visit www.bluesnore.com. Moment of Silence, Inc., along with Blue Suicide, is a nonprofit organization founded to support and raise awareness about the epidemic of suicides amongst law enforcement, military personnel, and first responders. For more information on how you can help, visit momentofsilenceinc.org. If you're in the market for a new vehicle or a certified used vehicle, then visit Fetty Auto Group, located at the junction of Route 46 and Route 3 in Clifton, New Jersey. Fetty Auto Group stands shoulder to shoulder with the men and women in blue. Stop by and ask for Troy Mall and ask about the offers for first responders. For more information, visit FettyAuto.com. That's FettyAuto.com. The Blue Magazine, the law enforcement publication by law enforcement professionals for the men and women of law enforcement. The unfiltered voice of law enforcement. TheBlueMagazine.com. Are you patrolling with the pig? If not, you're doing it wrong. Check out all the newest swine swag at proudpig.blue. They are dirty by design. Check it out now. Visit www.proudpig.blue for all your swine swag. Visit www.proudpig.blue. Resumes by Joe. Owned and operated by retired NYPD second grade detective Joe Federa. With over 20 years of professional resume writing experience and focusing on translating what we do as cops into language that the corporate world can appreciate. We put an emphasis on ensuring that your cover letter and resume will be best received by the applicant tracking system used by most companies today. Check out our website at www.resumesbyjoe.com or call Joe directly at 347-992-4523. Don't forget to ask about the 50% discount for BBO members and most unions across the country. Give us the job of helping you get the job. Contact Resumes by Joe today. If you're a member of the law enforcement profession and are looking to establish long-lasting business relationships with businesses that are blue-friendly, it's time to visit visitblue.com. Visitblue.com features some of the best doctors, lawyers, realtors, as well as other service providers, such as home improvement and financial services. If you are looking for reliable, trustworthy service providers, visit visitblue.com. That's www.visitblue.com. Founded in 2014 by retired NYPD police officer Michael Burke, Brothers Before Others is a national 501c3 law enforcement charity comprised solely of both sworn and retired police officers. Since their inception, Brothers Before Others has sent floral arrangements to the services of all line-of-duty deaths, regardless of where in the country they occur. Having spent over $350,000 to date, while the National Flower Fund remains their cornerstone, their benevolence has since grown well beyond that, even into the civilian world. For more information on how to get involved or to donate, visit brothersbeforeothers.org, or you can visit their public forums on all social media platforms by searching Brothers Before Others. Founded in 2016 by professional musician Neil Giraldo, 3-Chord Bourbon has developed a process that is defined as the perfectly tuned taste, blending carefully selected whiskey bourbon and rye whiskey stocks from Kentucky, Tennessee, and Indiana. Designed to be enjoyed with friends and family, 3-Chord Bourbon will leave you with the same feeling you experience after hearing that perfect song. You'll know their whiskeys are right from the very first sip. For more information on 3-Chord Bourbon and available merchandise, visit 3chordbourbon.com. Line of Duty Cigars, owned and operated by retired NYPD Detective Tom Werther. Visit lineofdutycigars.com for our handmade Nicaraguan cigars, custom ashtrays, custom humidors, and custom flask sets. Also, when you place an order, you choose the law enforcement, first responder, or veteran charity, and Line of Duty Cigars donates 10% to that organization. Planning a special event? Contact us today. Visit www.lineofdutycigars.com. And now, back to the Blue Room Podcast on the BlueBroadcastNetwork.com.
Oh, now he's confused. Look at him.
I think it's too late.
It's too late. It's never too late.
Why is that thing spinning?
What thing?
Stand by. My wire. You mess with my wire.
You did. You
Negative.
fuck up your own wire.
Negative. All right. We're back. Again.
You try to tell me before you were professional.
No.
No. Well, listen.
No.
All right. Listen. Now, listen. Now I'm back in my seat. Can we please address that we had a very frustrating technology night? Let's just get it out.
But it's
Fucking fault.
Let's just stop. Everybody, we're going to stop pointing blame.
No one's blaming
We're
anyone.
not going to point blame at everybody. Let's just acknowledge the fact that we had a very technology frustrating night. That everybody here still loves each other, except Jacob. We don't like Jacob.
Hold on. No, let me defend Jacob first, okay?
Go ahead.
Let me explain something. Billing department is not Bubba's job. Bubba drives for Danny. Bubba does radio for Danny.
Bubba doesn't bill. Bubba doesn't bill.
I wasn't
So
trying.
this was a billing issue.
I wasn't trying to put.
yeah, but I don't do. I don't do the
Did
billing
that just came up? Was that there earlier?
What?
What picture?
I don't even know what you're
Oh,
talking
that
about.
one. Me,
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I think that was always there since the
All right.
beginning.
All right. Dr. Alex, awesome. Tom and Jen, awesome. Tea time is in the house. And we will address the shenanigans.
I don't think so. We should.
Yeah,
we should.
but after we.
How did you have the photos uploaded? I wasn't told this.
Which?
Oh no, we can address it without the photos. Don't worry about it. The photos don't need. No. The photos don't. Yeah. No, you can't even do that with.
Bro,
you're shot out, bro.
He's still banged up.
It was rough weekend.
He's drinking water.
Soda goes. Hey, my second can of soda. I don't drink soda.
Two days later,
I don't drink
he's
soda.
drinking Sprite.
Listen, it was all right. We'll address it quick, and then you.
We'll get to that.
Okay, all right.
We'll put it on the end.
Okay,
because you know how that's gonna go.
I got something special for the end too.
That's why I gotta say.
Yeah. Oh no.
So guys,
wait till you see.
Welcome back to the show. Holly Finley is chiming in. She said she was coming tonight. She didn't. She might still come. Just won't do it here. So, no such thing as a routine job. Right? As cops, we all know it. There's no such thing as a routine job. Years ago, is that not Leighton? Years ago, you handled every job accordingly based on the information that you were given. And certain jobs, you're like, no big deal. No big deal. No big deal. No such thing as a routine job.
Mm-hmm.
Omaha Police Officer Jeff Whitstruck responding to a shoplifting job. A shoplifting job.
Picking up a candy bar.
My part of my patrol was Fordham Road. Fordham Road in the Bronx had.
Oh, is this a Bronx story again?
No, Conway's was the big. It was like Kohl's, right? Conway's. And there were shoplifting jobs there every single day. And you showed up, and you knew what you had. You showed up, it was some dope. He or she stole a pair of pajamas or a pair of underwear, and they stuck them in their bag. It was a shoplifting job. If you're lucky at the end of your tour, you caught 2 or 3 hours overtime. If it was early in your tour, you're off the grid for that time. So Winstruck shows up to a shoplifting job where a kid just stole some T-shirts. That's it. Just stole some T-shirts. He gets there. He starts talking to the kid, and he starts to toss him. The kid starts to fight. He fights with him. Boom. Tries to tase him. Kid takes out a .380 and shoots him in the head on a fucking shoplifting job.
My God.
The cop gets shot in the face and the head on a shoplifting job. Right, guys?
Damn it.
Now, some of you are going to say, oh, this is bullshit. I can't believe a cop got shot over a shoplifting job. The cop didn't get shot over a shoplifting job. The cop got shot because some little douchebag decided he was not going to comply with a police officer.
Because he's being told he doesn't have to anymore.
Because
exactly.
I'm getting there.
I agree.
There is zero respect for law enforcement. And not only in law enforcement, but the DAs that prosecute these cases are basically saying there's no penalty for what you do. So this guy who, now think about the charges, right? If he just puts his hands up and gets arrested, he's got shoplifting.
Petty larceny.
Maybe. Petty larceny. He's got the gun charge. Or he's got the assault felony and the attempted murder of a police officer. Why? Because the elected officials and the elected DAs are telling them that there's no consequence for you doing this. This kid has been emboldened to do whatever the fuck he wants to do. So he shot this cop in the head and the face over a fucking shoplifting job.
It's going to get worse, Tommy.
It's going to get worse.
100%.
It's going to get worse. Where does that go? Now, if that cop actually took his gun out and shot that kid before that kid shot him,
He'd be charged.
he's charged
Of course.
for shooting a kid
Of course.
over a shoplifting job.
And you know that, and the headline would mention nothing about the kid's gun.
Absolutely.
The headline would be
Exactly.
police officer shoots kid over candy bar.
Unarmed kid.
White police officer.
Well, no, they wouldn't
shoots-
say unarmed because they wouldn't lie.
Right.
They would just leave shit out. It would
White-
be
white
police
police-
shoots kid over candy
white
bar.
police officer, if the suspect was black, would say color.
I am not. I won't even get into color. I very rarely do. I understand. I understand that there oftentimes that color comes into play, and the report is one way when the color of the officer.
Color only comes into play when the media is reporting it, because there is one color. Law enforcement is made up of every race you can think of, every sex you can think of, every religion you can think of, every sexual orientation you can think of. Race only comes into play when the media is fucking reporting it. Change my mind. Why? See, it's you know what it is. I think it's the technological issues we had tonight that got me fired up.
Honestly, I don't even
now
know.
I can curse.
Listen,
I can't show anymore.
I don't know the color of the cop. I know the color of the suspect. I don't know the color of the cop because for me,
the suspect black.
Yeah.
So the cop was white.
I don't know.
It could be Hispanic, Asian.
I didn't look because I didn't care. All I knew is that the end result here was that this young kid, who by the way, who was like 18 or 19, has thrown his life away over a fucking shoplifting collar. So he takes that collar for the gun and the shoplifting, and in probably less than 2 years, he's out, and he can actually be a productive member of society if he chooses to. If he chooses to. So now he gets shot by the cop, but he didn't. He shot the cop.
You're assuming he's going to jail for life. You're assuming that.
No, he's not. He's not going to go to jail.
Well, he didn't throw anything away.
No,
he didn't throw shit away.
You would think that he will do some time.
It's going to get worse. You would think,
but the reason that he did that, and he felt that he could get away with this, is because we've provided them with this place, right? This thing that says you can do whatever you want to do, and you will not be penalized for it.
We didn't provide it to them.
We as a society.
Politicians that are.
But who elected?
We're all part of it, though.
Okay, but Ron, who elected those officials? Though, who elected them?
Regardless of who elected them, a politician when he's elected has the duty, okay, to he or she has the duty to do his job, whatever that job may be, whether it's a DA or a governor, or mayor, or whatever, to protect their citizens. I mean, bottom line, that's what it comes down to, and that's not what has happened. We can all agree that the spike in violence towards police officers the last couple of years is an exact result of what's going on with, like Josh was saying, like all making it the environment, or like you were saying, the environment now to where they can do whatever they want. Where they're
so whose fault is that?
Where this is told that they can
whose fault is that? You elect these mayors, you elect these governors, and you elect these DAs, and then what happens is that the mayors. They put their police commissioners and their police chiefs in a position to align with what they think is right, and then there's just no way. It just can't work like this.
I say it all the time, and I'm going to keep saying it because I'm going to keep reminding people anytime this comes up. You ask that question: when did this spike? First of all, it's important to recognize the fact that it is a spike. It's nothing new. Cops have been getting killed since the first police officers, since the first sheriff.
You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. Listen, hold on.
You heard the numbers that Commissioner Carrick put out when he was in here.
10 years ago, 15 years ago, it's not a spike. It's acceptable now. It wasn't acceptable 10 or 15 years ago.
That creates a spike, though.
No. It's not acceptable.
Listen, it's a spike. I'm disagreeing with you, but I understand what you're saying. But I'm telling you that there's a wall in D.C. There's a wall in D.C. that will tell you cops have been getting killed since the first person attached a shield to their chest. There will always be a portion of the population that's going to hate police officers. They're called fucking perps. There's never going to be everybody in the country liking police officers. There will always be somebody that hates police officers. There will always be somebody that wants to kill police officers. But this current spike, and again, it's not political because I voted for the man the first time he fucking ran. This current spike started with Barack Obama and the Cambridge, Massachusetts incident.
I agree.
I will say it a million times.
Beergate.
You can
Beergate. I agree.
Check my math. Anybody who doesn't believe me, all you got to do is type in Google Barack Obama's statement on Cambridge, Massachusetts. All right. The highest elected official in the land, arguably the most powerful man on the face of the earth, told you that he was, while I didn't witness anything firsthand, I wasn't there, and I don't have all the facts yet. I think we all can agree the police acted stupidly. So without being there, without witnessing anything, without having all the facts, the highest elected official in the land told you, as a citizen of the United States, it is perfectly okay to presume that the police officers acted stupidly. That's where this started. Because everybody jumped on and said, well, listen, if President Obama is saying that the cops are fucked up, they must be fucked up.
Well, you know what?
And in that case, he was wrong.
Ferguson.
Oh, but
Ferguson.
that's a whole separate.
Ferguson. He jumped out there and said, "Fucking, they executed this guy, and they were wrong. Hands up, don't shoot." Didn't happen.
And
he came out and said that he talks to his girls about, police and how you need to. I mean, come on, the man set the table.
We're still riding this current spike, and the problem is nobody. And again, not to get political, but because nobody can deny that was the biggest hurt to not having Trump now. I don't give a fuck about politics and what they are doing, not doing. Trump was the most vocally and proudly pro law enforcement.
That's true. That's a fact.
Pro civil servant. I'm telling you, we used to sit with the Secret Service guys, and they would say that the presidential detail would go insane because this man, I mean, they spend weeks to months planning even the smallest routes to where this guy's going, and he would see a group of cops or a group of firemen or something, and he would just be like, you know what, I'm going to go shake their hand. Like, yo, Mr. President, you can't do that. Like, we didn't plan for you to be going. And he would go. He didn't care. He was the most pro law enforcement, pro civil service president that this generation has seen, and they cut him short. And now we're back to being the pieces of shit.
I think even worse than Obama now. Even worse. Yeah. But going back to Ferguson though, isn't that the time where police did not have body cams at the time?
No.
So they did have body cams.
No, they didn't. They didn't have it.
Yeah, but everything.
So after that incident, that's where it became mainstream.
No, I don't think. I think that was just one of the incidents that
I don't know if it triggered it.
Yeah, I think it's just. I
think Minneapolis really triggered the whole camera.
I just.
We'll get to that.
I see where you're going.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
You do realize I got a CAT scan on my heart tomorrow, right? This guy.
So we're gonna do a little piece here before we get to Minneapolis.
Okay. Go
ahead.
I know you're loving it. You're loving it.
Go ahead.
So 5 cops in Oklahoma City Police Department were charged with manslaughter.
Oh,
right? Boy. The event was November 2020. Right? November last year. Robbery in progress at a gas station. And I don't even got to see this because I watched the video 3 times today. They show up. The manager of the gas station calls 911 and says, I locked all the doors, and the kid that robbed me with the gun is in the store. I locked the door, I'm outside. Cops show up, boom, talk to the manager, come out, hands up. The kid comes out of a window, right? Comes out of a window, gets out on the street, he's got the gun in his hand, drops the gun on the street, right there. They put your hands behind your back, comply, put your hands back. He goes back to his back pocket with his one hand, not two, not like, okay, I'm done, I'll do this. He does this, one hand goes back there. They shoot him. They're thinking in their minds,
he's going for the other gun.
He's got the other gun.
Second gun.
5 cops indicted.
What? Oh, God.
5 cops indicted because the first guy lit him up. Like, oh, put your hands up, down, whoop, whoop. One hand, boom. Goes for what they think is another gun, and the first guy shoots, and the rest of them follow suit. 5 cops indicted on this.
Did they after the aftermath? Did they find?
It doesn't matter what the aftermath. They've been indicted. They realized that there was no second gun involved.
Okay, no second gun. Okay.
No second gun, but he made the motion, and those guys.
This is what this is what I don't understand. And somebody, I guess it's rhetorical because there really isn't an answer you could give. But
before you even get to that, I'll tell you the second story,
and
then we can put them together.
Before you get to that,
we can do it together.
Okay, go ahead.
Because they're very relevant. They're very relevant.
Okay.
Kansas City, right? Kansas City. George Floyd protest going on. Cop is indicted for what did they do?
Just so I'm clear, but while you're looking that up, what were they protesting? Were they protesting the fact that George Floyd was swallowing fentanyl? Oh, they weren't protesting that? Oh, okay, keep going.
Recklessly causing physical pain to a juvenile.
Oh my!
So
come on.
Protests are going on. Young girl gets in the cop's face, and cop says on video, "Back up, back up, back up," and then she physically shoves the cop. Cop says, "Boom!" Hits him with the taser. Not taser. The OC. Hits him with the OC. Down. Right. Deploying the pepper spray to protect himself. All right. He's charged with a crime.
What?
He's charged with a crime. She physically shoved the cop.
Can I leave now?
Right?
You can stay here.
Can I leave?
If I got to
no.
Like I'm saying, they're tying the cops hand to toe.
It gets better.
They're tying
The prosecutor.
Means,
wait, it gets better. The prosecutor said, "Ready? This is great." The prosecutor said, after reviewing the videos, the officers are typically discouraged from pepper spraying civilians.
What's the point of having a pepper sprayer?
Who else are you pepper spraying?
Each other.
Well, that actually has happened. Well, listen. Anybody that
who are we pepper spraying?
What's the point of having one?
Let's push buttons. Can I give a bro tip away? Can I have a bro tip away? Not yet.
The prosecutor said.
Damn it.
The prosecutor said we're charging this because they're trained to not pepper spray civilians. Who the fuck are we supposed to pepper spray?
The dog.
Can you show me documentation when they're trained not to pepper spray civilians? So what's the purpose of the carrying? Who
exactly?
Where's the documentation?
Oh no, it gets better.
Where's the training logs on that?
And they also claim that the officer was carrying a larger canister of OC.
Okay, what does that have to do with the price of tea in China?
Nothing.
8
Nothing.
8 ounce, 6 ounce to 8 ounce can.
So you pepper sprayed a civilian, which you're not supposed to do. I don't know who
does this to me on purpose. Is Dr. Alex still here?
Wait, and they used a larger than normal OC can because that's what they had.
Listen,
she shoved the cop. And the cop shoved her back and then fucking blasted her. And now the cop's being charged.
I mentioned this.
What's OC stands for, first of all?
Oh, my God.
OC, what does it stand for?
Can we make a list of Christian questions and that for the night?
You know
what is the
drip? You know what it
drip?
stand for, right?
What is the drip?
You know what it stand for, right?
Overcrowd?
Yes, overcrowd, yes.
Oh, what? Yeah, okay, yeah.
Overcrowd, yes.
No, for real. That's what I mean. OC stands for?
No.
Yes, overcrowd.
It's called overcrowd spray. It's called overcrowd spray.
All right, so
can you Google that? Can you please search it and let us know what it's because I really want.
Well, I just want to hear him pronounce it.
Yes,
go ahead.
I
Thank you.
Say. Go ahead,
Chris. I'm going to say what I'm going to say while you're doing that.
Well, you're because it'll probably take 2 minutes.
I just want and don't say it till you can pronounce it properly.
Practice it.
Look at it, sound it out. Don't say it yet because I'm not done. I'll give you the cue when you're up. I sit and I look at all these police reforms that are going on, and like Chris was saying, which again I don't know what it means, that they're tying police hands to toes.
Yeah, they are.
I don't know, Chris. I've never heard that, but I don't know what it means. But I think I know what you're trying to say.
I'll explain later what I'm trying to say.
Sick. So I asked myself, like, what's the end game? Because I don't think there's any citizen of the United States anywhere that, if you pull them aside and ask them to answer honestly, believes that less police is a safer situation for anybody. I don't know. So right now, like being a cop, so what's going on? I feel like it's like a bad marriage right now, right? Where these politicians, they realize that the anti-police movement is the in thing. It's where all the votes are. It's where, go ahead, Chris, you can get that bottle. Treat yourself. It's where all that's their voting base right now. But at the same time, no, I'm not kidding. Go ahead, man. At the same time,
Is he leaving?
No, he's just getting the other bottle. Just don't knock the other one that's upside down. Don't knock it over. Thank you. Don't give it to me. You're the ones with glasses. Your glass is empty, Mo. Treat yourself. Here, go ahead, man. So they realize that no politician in their right mind wants to put their name on defunding the police. You see it all the time. Look what happened in Minneapolis. That shit backfired on them, and now they're spending millions of dollars to bring law enforcement back up to speed.
They gave Floyd's family $27 million.
Tommy, for the love of Christ. Dr. Alex Leffer, just stop, please. So what's happening is, what the politicians are doing by virtue of all of these law enforcement reforms and these criminal justice reforms is they're making our job so miserable. So three things are going to happen. You're going to have guys that have their time are going to retire. You're going to have guys, which first of all hurts more than anything. We talked about it when Pat was here. We talked about it, Pat Lynch it is, and when Commissioner Carrick was here. That that's what's hurting us as a profession right now, is because we're losing these experienced officers. So the people that are teaching these new guys that are coming on are, no disrespect, well, I should say with all due respect or with no disrespect, are mental patients. I mean, these are not cops. We're losing the seasoned cops. We're losing these guys with 20, 25, more than that, years on, that actually saw a different generation of policing. We're losing them. So that's the first thing that's going to happen. The second thing that's going to happen is guys are going to retire early. They're going to quit. Literally are going to quit. They're literally going to take a hit on their pension, if any pension at all, and they're going to quit because they're going to see cases like Tommy's talking about, where calls that come to them that could be either way, and sometimes not even either way, because I don't know anybody, and I'm going to get back to the last thing that I had with that, with the compliance thing. I don't know anybody. Stop. Shut up. That thinks, well, no, I'll hit it now while I'm there. I've never had a gun pointed at me by a police officer.
Really?
But I'm pretty sure.
Neither have I.
But I'm pretty sure if a police officer pointed a gun at me and said, "Don't move," I'm not going to move. Who the fuck are these people roaming this planet that have guns pointed at them by uniformed police officers, loaded guns that can kill you?
The chick in Tennessee. Chicken Tennessee.
Guns pointed at you, and they're telling you, "Don't fucking move." And you're like, you know what? I'm going to put my hands where you can't see them right now. Stand by.
And we'll see how it ends.
Who the fuck? What are you possibly thinking? Pause. I'm not done. See, because now, Tommy, cut me up. So you're going to have cops. You're going to have cops quitting early because of that. And the biggest thing is you're going to have cops stopping. You're going to have trouble recruiting. Cops are going to stop signing up. So what's going to happen is these politicians who want to appease these unrealistic, emotional, ridiculous crowds are going to get their way. They're going to get that without having to actually put their name on any kind of defund policy, because they're going to decrease law enforcement, because they're going to just get cops to stop showing up. This is the equivalent to being married to a spouse when we're being married and where both you and your spouse desperately know that the marriage is over, but she or he doesn't have the balls to pull the trigger and file for divorce. So instead,
or lack of,
they're just going to make your life so miserable So you leave. So then they get the best of both worlds. They get to have the marriage over, and they get to be the victim. So then these politicians can say, see, these cops really didn't care about the community. All we wanted to get rid of was qualified immunity. That was all we wanted to get rid of, and they quit over that. Shame. They didn't. They were selfish. They were just they just cared about themselves. Fuck out of here.
But here's the thing, though. Let's see a what if scenario, right? What if the cops wait a couple seconds to see if the guy really had a weapon at that particular moment?
You don't have that time. You don't have that time.
Milliseconds?
No,
you don't have
so,
that time.
So the guy in Tennessee, the guy in Tennessee, not Tennessee.
You're talking about the girl in the Camaro?
Nashville, Tennessee. The cop, the female that shot him.
Oh, there's a video about that, right?
I gotta say a few things about that because
I've seen that video.
I was in a group text earlier talking about that incident. First and foremost, I'm not going to criticize the police officer, but what are you doing? If you're an active police officer and you're not staying in some type of physical shape to handle your job.
Nope, stop.
Listen,
stop.
listen,
No,
listen,
I gotta
listen,
stop
listen.
it. I gotta
So
stop.
let him
No,
go.
I agree with him.
Let him go.
Zip it.
Let him go first. Let him go first. Let him
we
get
don't. We don't criticize cops on the show. We don't criticize the fat fucks that can't move out of their way and the guys that don't train.
I never said that. I never said he was a fat fuck. What I'm saying was, that to me there were several things. Listen, if you are a cop, and I don't know how that call went or whatever, and I'm sure we've all done it, where maybe we were out with somebody that we didn't think was such a big threat, and maybe we canceled backup or whatever. Who knows? We don't know. I don't know any of that. I'm just speaking.
No, but this was about the no. I'm not because we're not gonna. It's a different job. The job that the piece that we were talking about was the kid that fucking that stole Hanes t-shirts and got shot. And I get what you're saying.
What was she stopped for?
He was a shoplifter.
No, what was the female stopped for?
The girl stopped.
She was stopped because when he ran the license plate and it came back to her boyfriend who was wanted on drug warrants, and he pulled her out and Q&A'd her, and then it just went south. She wouldn't comply. She was going to the car. He tased her. It did nothing because she was 400 pounds. And we rely on the taser more than we should.
I want him to ask the question because you have the answers. We talked about this. I think we have the answer because I asked the same question he did, which I'm sure, and I know because I saw the comments under the video, at least the one that I watched. I'm sure anywhere that video was posted, a lot of the same comments. But I want him to ask it because he might not know the answer, and I think hearing what you said.
Is he sober?
Yeah, he hasn't touched anything. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
My second can.
So ask the question.
My whole thing was I just think again. I'm not trying to criticize no cop, but let's if we're going to talk about the profession, let's talk about the profession. And I don't think that environment or how he handled that situation, I think could have been handled maybe a little bit better and stuff. If you're running if you're running a tag and a tag comes back, obviously it's not a male. If you're looking for a male, same with warrants, but the way she's acting and the way she's whether she's avoiding you or on the phone while you're conducting a traffic stop, that I would have never ever allowed to be happening
because she wasn't the subject when you ran that plate, and as obviously she wasn't the subject. But now a new investigation is opened. Because Correct. She's acting a certain way, so and now you're like,
he's going through her property. He allows her on the phone. What do you think she's doing on the phone? Calling, ordering up some fast food or something. I mean, I don't know. Maybe calling. I'm going to assume that she's probably calling family members. Like,
do you know that Russ Yeager pointed out, which is a great point? Have you ever seen a Chinese food commercial?
No, I haven't.
Wow, that's very good. You don't have to
think about that, dude.
Think about it.
Probably one of the most ordered out fast foods. Have you ever seen a Chinese food commercial?
That should be.
All right, carry on.
That should be a show.
Because he asked, "Do you think she's ordering fast food?" Well, maybe she was. Who knows? Go ahead.
Just wasn't Chinese.
Well, it might have been. But go ahead.
So then, like I said, the taser doesn't work. She's in the car. He sees her grab a gun, and he tells her to drop the gun. And then she shoots. It appears, I could be wrong. it appears that she shot at him first.
Yeah. 4 rounds.
Yeah, she
Right,
did.
and then he shot back. Again, I don't think she's picking up the gun to hand it to you. Say, officer, I have this gun, here. I just think the engagement should have been a little bit quicker on his part. So I think there were several mistakes that were made, and again, I don't want to criticize. I'm not Monday. I want to Monday morning quarterback and say we don't do that here, and I get with that. But if we're going to talk about
you were just like a passive aggressive grandparent though. We're like, I don't want to start any trouble, but
do you think he missed the shot? Do you think he missed the target?
I don't think he should have waited. I don't think he should have waited to be shot.
This is where I'm at, because where I thought you were going with it, and my question was, why didn't he stay in the fight? That was my question. Now you're sure she's DED?
I'm not sure of anything.
She's dead. She died. She passed.
She did pass.
She died in the hospital.
Okay, so
here's
that,
my thing, and I didn't get to it, and I was going to get to it, but Tommy kind of made me feel a little small when he says, "Oh, we're not going to criticize him." Listen,
stay in the fight.
When you drop down to your knees,
stay in the
and
fight.
you put your gun down on the ground, and you start picking up your radio, and you're like, "Breathe it." No, exactly. You stay in the fight. You light up that car with the 15-round magazine you have. You reload again, and you make sure the threat is gone before you start getting on the radio and calling, because we still have an active person with a firearm in that car.
Honestly,
but listen, and to be fair, all right, I've never been shot.
Me neither.
I've never been shot. So the night
is young.
The night is definitely young. For me to criticize somebody who has, because we say it all the time. I say, you can train.
Jacob, wake up.
You could. Oh wow, wow. You can. It's not well. You can train all day long, and that you hope you respond a certain way. You train to respond a certain way, but the reality of the situation is you never know how you're going to respond until that first proverbial bullet whips by your head.
Absolutely not.
Any single one of us could lock up. Any single one of us, especially if you're being hit. That's even worse. You get hit. I might just lay there and cry. It's a good point.
The question also has to be asked on, did maybe he hesitate because of the climate that is currently going on?
Yes.
Probably. That could be it.
Of course.
Right?
We're going to end this piece on, he very well may be charged.
Nah, I don't think so, man.
He very well may be charged.
Nah.
In this climate?
Yeah.
Why?
You say no? He might be charged.
In this climate?
And that's just a message to all the guys and women that still working, that take your time and make the zip it. He might be charged. And unfortunately, what that means is that if you're in that situation, that you're going to take another second to think, or 2 seconds or 3 seconds to think what I'm going to do. And in those 2 or 3 seconds, you might be dead.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
And the reason that happens is because the DAs and the politicians will charge you.
No,
you might charge you.
You know what it is? The message is numbers. That's the message. And I liked where you started with the, no call is a routine call. And I mean, yeah, we've been taught that forever, but now more than ever, numbers. You hear it all the time from any leadership worth their salt. Whether it be from the law enforcement side or from the union side, you hear it all the time. Numbers. I don't care what call you're going to, go there with 2 people, 3 people, because first of all, numbers in itself is a de-escalator. One-on-one, you'll get a lot of people that'll roll the dice. You see it. I mean, that's a perfect example. Go there with numbers, and if you are those numbers, even though it doesn't apply specifically to that situation, to the broad that you were talking about. If you are those numbers, don't all of you stand there and stare at the scene. Stare what's behind the scene and around the scene. You're on a traffic stop, don't be looking at the car. Let 2 other people look at the car. You watch what's going on around the car. Who's walking around the car?
Right.
Because that's the environment we're in right now. Yeah, no.
So, like I want to say before, I thought when I saw the video.
Have you pronounced OC yet? Say it.
Well, not yet, but when I saw the video, right? I thought the officer was gonna shoot back. That's what I thought, and he didn't do that. You know. So basically, what I was trying to say before, when Josh asked, what does it mean when I said that officers are being tied head to toe? Is basically what I'm saying is the police officer of 2021.
I'm just saying that saying doesn't exist, Chris. I know what you mean, but I'm just saying that saying doesn't exist.
No, but you're saying what do I mean by saying that? When
I know what you mean. You don't have to
what was
explain it.
you
I'm
say-
just
what
saying
was it you said?
nowhere on planet Earth.
The police
Tommy, I'm
officer?
sorry. You'll get your show back in a minute. Nowhere on planet Earth has anybody ever said they're tying their head to toe.
Well, there is a song by Lisa Nicole Jam, Head to Toe.
Yeah, but that's about being in love.
I mean,
That's-
the police officer is being
which by the way, you definitely are.
We will talk
I know
about.
what
Wow.
We will talk
Wow.
about that.
We made a left-hand
We
turn.
will talk about that.
Notice how I ignored you.
No, you leave. No, you
will
leave.
talk about
No, you
that.
leave.
In the last piece.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
The
Tommy,
last,
take your show
the
back,
last
Tommy.
piece is very it's very important. All right, guys. It's very important.
Okay.
Derek Chauvin, Minneapolis police officer, is trial started this week, and they were doing jury selection, and they went back and forth, and the DA said they were not going to charge murder 3, right? No murder 3, so murder 2 and manslaughter, they don't fit the scenario. The murder 2 and the manslaughter do not fit the scenario. They don't meet what they need to meet for murder 2, and they don't meet what they need to meet on manslaughter. Ready?
Oh, see? Oh, now you're trying to take a deep breath. Bad for you.
Murder 2, subdivision 1, intentional murder. Causes the death with the intent to infect the death of that person without premeditation. Penalty not more than 40 years, not more than $40,000. What they're saying is that we're going to say that he intended to commit the death of that guy. Wait. Not going to happen. Manslaughter 2. By the person's culpable negligence, whereby the person creates an unreasonable risk and constantly takes the chances of causing death or great bodily harm to another. He didn't take any sort of unreasonable risk because he was taught to do. You can put your hand down. You'll be the first one I call on.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to adhere to rules.
Because he was taught to do that very angle. Like, that's what he was taught to do. That's what they do. They don't get murder 2. They have to prove he acted recklessly. He was taught by the police department to do that very restraint. And the verbiage is not really clear. So the verbiage didn't say to stop kneeling on this person's neck, chest, or back until a certain point. Right? Doesn't happen. Toxicology. George Floyd's body at the time of death had 3 times the amount of fentanyl that it would take to kill a human being.
Yep.
3 times.
Yep.
So what they're saying is,
Yep.
all right, it doesn't
What
matter.
they're saying is he would have been sitting at home playing PlayStation and would have died. Yes. I apologize.
I'm getting there.
Did I steal your line?
He had 3 times the fentanyl in his body that would have killed a regular human dude walking down the street.
Damn, he's a strong guy then.
Oh, there was amphetamines. Wait. Amphetamines. He was COVID-19 positive.
What?
Yes.
Wait. He could have infected the officers as well with COVID?
Yes.
He
Damn.
didn't social distance.
He had a coronary artery that was 90% blocked.
Whoa, really?
Stop. He was a smoker.
Nobody will survive that.
I'll get to you.
Nobody
I'll
will
get to you.
survive that. 90% clog?
Would you shut the fuck up?
All right.
Raise your hand. He was a smoker. He used drugs. His heart was enlarged.
Damn.
Okay? Due to long-term, high blood pressure that he wasn't being treated for. He had sickle cell. Dude,
Okay,
he had sickle cell.
that's no big deal. Honestly.
Wait, I'm not laughing because it's not
funny.
It's not a funny
Listen,
thing.
I agree.
It's not a funny thing.
I agree with you 100%.
Human life is human life.
100%.
I'm not laughing in that he's no longer here.
100%.
But all of these things, all right, science dictates.
Well, Joe says follow the science, but we're not there yet.
I'll get to you. Science, you got to follow the science.
Well, that's it.
All of those things. The guy was a volcano. You could have yelled boo, and he would have fucking died. All right? It's coming. Right? But it doesn't end there. There were no signs of strangulation. Right? There were no signs of strangulation. There was no suffocation, not in the throat, not in the neck, not in the back of the neck, not in the lungs, not in the chest. There was nothing there. And, honestly, science aside, he was taught to do exactly what he did.
5 minutes to the gentleman from New
Not
Jersey.
yet. Not yet. Not yet. Some of the medical
This is
professionals, no, I'm not.
He won't let me go.
Some of the medical professions, right? The professionals that are professionals that actually chimed in on the Michael Brown thing that said Michael Brown, in my medical profession history, Michael Brown was obviously shot with his hands up, and we know that was a lie. And these guys are testifying on this. They're chiming in on the fact of George Floyd's death when they said that Michael Brown's hands were up, and we know it's a lie. How do we... I don't want to say it's right or wrong. How do you give them any credence? How do you take what they say as word?
Right.
After all of these things, the fentanyl, the drugs, the heart, the fucking the disease that he had, the high blood pressure. How the fuck? They're not going to get murder too. They're not going to get murder too. And then when that happens, and the prosecutors are nervous because they fought for murder 3 because they knew they couldn't get murder 2 and they couldn't manslaughter. And the judge said murder 3 doesn't even count here. This fucking country is going to burn.
They know that. They know that.
It's coming right. No. Josh.
See, thank you for
I told you.
recognizing my hand raised.
Yeah.
Because I'm a fucking gentleman. You guys are animals trying to jump in.
The gentleman from New Jersey is recognized.
All right. So I'm gonna miss points along the way, but I'm gonna try to go slow. You ask, all right, how can we trust anything? We can't trust anything. The video clips that we were all fed.
Don't cover them up.
The video clips that we were all fed from the beginning were intentional. You can't tell me that the news outlets that released these cell phone video clips didn't have body cam footage. Body cam footage, the police body cam footage is instant. They had that footage, but they knew that footage showed a totally different story than the body cam footage showed. So that was out there. Think of how many cases, I mean, Chief Craig in Detroit is one of the ones that's huge with that. He'll put that body cam footage out hours after. This is what happened. Here you go. Here's exactly what happened from our officers' body cams. No, you got to wait now. See, I waited my turn. This is what happened. Why in this case did the body cam footage have to be leaked months later? Because the narrative was already set. Because listen, I don't care who you are, civilian, sworn, active, retired, everybody that watched that first video that came out, everybody, 99.9% of the population, 99.9% of the spot said, yo, what the fuck? Even cops are like, yo, what the fuck? And at minimum, shut their mouths. Like, yo,
hold on. I don't know if you remember this, though. When that happened, I said I wanted to talk about it, and you said, absolutely not. On the show, we're not going to...
Well, because
because I saw that video, and my first instinct was... what most of... Yeah.
What the
and
fuck?
And you told me, you said to me, we're not talking about that here. We need more information. And and normally I am the guy that says, hey, let's get all the fucking facts and we'll figure it out. But when I saw that fucking video, I was like, oh my God. And I wanted to talk about it. And Josh said, no, absolutely fucking not. We know nothing about this. And I went, against my better fucking moral values, I go, all right, well, wait.
So,
and afterwards I go, you're right.
So, well, I wasn't
right.
listen at that. Listen
No,
at that time. Listen, so we sit there and for months, all we saw were these civilian released cell phone videos. Right now comes the body cam footage that's leaked, and it tells the whole story. Which again, like I said, I'm sorry if I'm missing points.
Opposite.
Not differently. It just tells the whole story. So now you see. Okay, first of all, this guy wasn't singled out. The cops were called there. They were called there by the store owner. They go in to the store first. They don't go to the car. They don't go right to the car. They don't hold the guy at fucking gunpoint. They go to the store owner. The store owner shows them the fake bill, walks to the door and says, yeah, the guy driving that Mercedes-Benz, that's the one that handed me this bill. Okay. So now they go to the car. George Floyd wasn't the only person in that car. There's 3 people in that car.
Really?
The other 2 people, the front passenger, back passenger, were pulled out of the car. Black male in the front, black female in the back. Pulled out of that car, taken away from the car, stood against the wall of the building. They weren't placed in handcuffs. They weren't proned out. They weren't searched. They weren't treated like shit. They weren't spoken to like shit. They were spoken to like gentlemen, well, lady and gentleman, male and female. And the one guy, even though he refused to produce ID, was never forced, wasn't treated like a perp. The female, because now at the time they had Floyd out of the car, was pointing, so yeah, he's an ex of mine, he's crazy, he's got drugs. She's diming him out on all the problems this guy's had for his entire life. Yeah, he's got this problem, he's got that problem, so now they know who they're dealing with. Chances are this guy's probably high. They already know now from what this girl just dimed him out on all that shit, that he's a career criminal.
But the science,
wait, Tommy, I'm not even there. So I'm still, like I said, I'm going to go slow, but it's important.
He gave me the hand.
It's important. Well, listen, you recognize a gentleman from New Jersey. Mind your,
I did.
I'm reclaiming my time. Eddie, that's for you. So anyway, even then, still with these 2, and they could have investigated these 2 as being part of that, and they're like, all right, now, you know what? Again, treating these people like gentlemen.
Right.
White cop on potentially black criminals.
Right.
Well, it's amazing.
They're doing the main procedure they were doing.
No racism. It's amazing how that works, right? Okay, so now they go to Floyd. All that goes on. They go to put him in the car. Now, any person that's worn a shield, that's tried to put somebody... First of all, Floyd was not a small guy.
He's a big guy.
He was not a small guy.
Bigger than me.
So anybody that's ever tried to put somebody in a car that's refusing to go in, you know what's going to happen. You're going to go around the other side. One push, one pull. One go in, pull them in. The other one push them in, which is exactly what these guys did. Because it's better than trying to... I mean, how are you going to... You can't... If that guy's twice the size of you, there's no way you're pushing him into that little doorway in the car. So you send somebody to the other side, you open up, one pull in, one push in. From the time that struggle began, and go ahead, everybody, watch the tape and count it if you think I'm kidding. From the time that struggle began, 8 times George Floyd asked to lay on the ground. 8 times. Himself. I'll lay on the ground. I'll lay on the ground. I'll lay on the ground. 8 times. All he did not want to be in the car, and he asked those officers 8 times to lay on the ground. By the way, which during all that time, he was claiming, same way he was when he was on the ground, that he couldn't breathe.
Really? Wait. 219 Blue Room?
No, we can't. Our phone lines are down. Don't ask.
Wait, so he was saying, I can't breathe, even though he was sitting in the car.
Listen, he wasn't sitting in the car. They were pulling through. So now, put yourself in the position of these officers.
Right.
Okay. You have a guy that's fighting you getting in a car. They obviously already called for the bus because the bus showed up. So somebody on that scene, whether it was cued by Chauvin or somebody else, somebody called for an ambulance because the ambulance showed up. Mm-hmm. Didn't just happen by fucking magic. All right? So you put yourself in the position of these officers. They're fighting this guy to get in the car, right? A crowd is starting to gather. You got a guy that's willing to go onto the ground. He's saying, I'll lay on the ground. He lays on the ground, and like Tommy's saying, Chauvin used a restraint that was taught by the Minnesota Police Department. They were taught that restraint in the academy. And from his mindset...
Like Aaron Dean, who was taught
how
to sweep a fucking building.
You're trying to get me to stroke.
And he got thrown under the bus.
You're trying to
Aaron
get me to
Dean is out of a job because he did what he was taught to do.
He's out of a job because he quit, but that's besides
Fort
the point.
Worth, Texas? You talking about that one?
Fort Worth, yeah. He's trying to get me to stroke.
Okay.
So now if you are Chauvin and his crew, you have a crowd that's starting to gather, you have to make a split-second decision, which is better for me right now. I got an ambulance coming for this guy because I already know he's obviously high on something because they saw him swallow the fentanyl, which was on the body camera. They freeze framed it. What's the word I'm like? Yeah.
No, they
freeze framed it. You saw it on his tongue.
Yeah, but
they have a picture of it. They have a picture of it, basically.
Forget the picture. In the RMP, in the car, they recovered the evidence of the powdery substance that was fentanyl and...
So you have
spit out.
You have this guy that at minimum you already know is high out of his mind, probably going to need medical attention strictly for the drugs that he swallowed. But he's saying he can't breathe, so you're doing the right thing. Yeah, look at Chris go. You're having the ambulance come, right? So you got a crowd gathering as a uniformed police officer. What's your best option at this point? You got a guy that's twice your size, that if he really wanted to fight you, even in handcuffs, is going to be a problem.
Right.
So your choice is, do I keep fighting him in front of this crowd, which is going to get uglier because, like we've talked about a million times on this show, no use of force in uniform looks good. Do I keep fighting him, or do I restrain him on the ground the way I've been taught till the ambulance gets here and then load him onto the bus and we're out of here?
Exactly. Yep.
And now looking at it through those eyes, what we all, 99.9% of America looked at and said, yo, what the fuck? Now all of a sudden you're like, well, now I get it. Now I understand. But that said, like Tommy said, there is not a person on this planet, there's not an animal on this planet that deserves to die with somebody kneeling on their back.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I know.
Nobody debates that.
But the media made people believe that Chauvin intentionally choked Floyd.
Nobody on this planet under any circumstances deserves to die with another human being kneeling on their back. Did Derek Chauvin kill George Floyd?
No. Apparently, yes. Apparently,
it's not apparently. They're gonna.
According to the media,
they're gonna offer him up, and with that, I give back my time.
The trial is gonna go. He's not gonna get convicted of the things that they want. They're not gonna get murder too. They're not gonna manslaughter. We will fucking see the riots, and there's nothing we can do about that.
The burning of Rome, basically.
There's nothing we can do about that.
Either way you go, you're going to see riots. But how else was he supposed to control him? How else was Chauvin supposed to control him, control the crowd, and protect himself?
It doesn't matter. It does.
Right.
What we see is that video is that what's going to happen from this point going forward.
Correct.
Well,
listen,
nothing.
Listen, you got to give Fort Worth credit. At least they didn't defund their whole fucking police department over Aaron Dean's fucking. They just got rid of Aaron Dean, hung him, and made a fucking a mockery out of that. But at least they didn't defund their whole police department in Minneapolis.
Listen, nobody from that agency.
Allegedly, with all due respect, I mean,
nobody from that agency came out and spoke on Chauvin when that happened and said, "Listen, we taught this. Okay, how else was he supposed to control the crowd? Because listen, he's got to protect that prisoner. Correct. He's got to protect himself.
Correct.
And
If Floyd got up in handcuffs, ran away, and got hit by a car.
He owns them.
Yes.
The
Well,
city
once
owns them.
you are in handcuffs, you are in our care and custody.
So he has to.
Yes.
Chauvin had to protect. Chauvin had to protect Floyd. Chauvin had to protect himself, and Chauvin had to keep an eye on the crowd at that time to protect them both at the same time. So that's exactly what he was doing, the way he was taught, the way many of us have done before. At no point in time did anybody from that agency, no chief, which should have been a deputy chief or above, came out and said, listen,
we trained him.
Right. This is what we trained. He did exactly what we were supposed to do. Yep. Would there have been issues and rights? Sure, it would have been. But it wouldn't have been to the extent of what we have right now. What did they do? They hung him out to dry like most agencies and most administrators would do because they don't want to take that heat.
And he's fucked. He's fucked.
And he's fucked for doing his job.
He's fucked.
Because that was one of the first things I said when I first saw that. I says, listen, this guy was obviously trained in that technique. There was training. I was a high liability instructor in my department. My forte was handcuffing. I taught handcuffing in my agency. I taught it to all our guys, and that was one of the methods that I taught that way because we taught it to our guys.
You have to control
because
your
you
perp.
have to exactly.
You have to control your perp. So you go home.
Right, and one of the things I said about that video was. Floyd lifted his neck and his head up several times during everything. So there was no knee on his neck.
No, but he said
there was no pressure.
He
on
was
him.
he was claiming I can't breathe from he was in the car. They took him out of the car. He was standing up. I can't breathe. Put him on the ground. I can't breathe. That's the go-to. That's the go-to fucking term.
The narrative.
And
the narrative, right?
Another thing you forgot to. I'm sure, but the people around him, the people around Floyd, were telling him also to comply.
Yes.
And to stop.
Yes.
They were telling him this. They were telling him to do this. So what was Chauvin to do? And you brought up a very good point that somebody there called the bus.
Yep.
Somebody there called the bus. So there was no malintent on the part of the police officers. They did everything. I'm sure that most policies in most police departments across the country mirror and show,
and they're gonna fucking hang them.
Okay,
they're gonna hang them.
They're gonna hang them
because they're afraid.
Because they want to protect the judge. Bottom line,
it doesn't matter what happens at the end of this fucking this trial. This trial.
Say that to Derek Chauvin. It fucking does matter.
No, it doesn't matter because the end result is going to be the same. I don't care what the end result of that trial is that it's going to be more riots across the front.
Listen.
End the story.
And I hate to say this, Tommy, and I'm gonna say this in the utmost, with
all due respect.
With all due
like
respect,
Ricky Bobby says, if you say with all due respect, you can say anything you want.
If those motherfuckers want to burn their fucking city, fuck them. Fuck them. Let them burn their fucking cities.
They're going to.
Let them burn their fucking cities until the police departments, these police chiefs, grow some fucking balls and let these cops be their cops and fucking don't allow these people to do this shit. Then we wouldn't have this fucking problem.
Exactly.
Derek Chauvin shouldn't go to prison for something he did not do. Had the cop in South Carolina that shot that man in his back when he took his taser and ran and then threw his taser down.
Yes.
And he aimed at him.
2 years. Yep.
He aimed at him. The one in South Carolina
on a GLA.
Right. GLA. In South Carolina and shot that man in his back, needs to go to prison because he's what gives cops a bad fucking name.
I agree.
What Derek Chauvin did was technique, was what most of us have done a million times in our fucking career, and he's going through hell for doing his fucking job.
On a guy that you said would have said boo, and he would have fucking like a rabbit.
A guy that died because of his own actions, not because of his own actions, because of he was a fucking a narcotic fiend, he was a fucking drug addict, okay, and because he caused his own death, and that's where we're at.
So basically, there was a conspiracy theory that Derek Chauvin had a grudge against George Floyd, blah blah blah, whatever. That was bullshit. Then basically,
listen, there was no maybe Derek Chauvin was there any records of Derek Chauvin ever having contact with Floyd prior to that?
Yeah, they actually. I think they worked like at a nightclub together.
Okay, so
I don't think they knew each other, but they had.
But I don't think that that had anything to do. Again, he did everything the way that it should have been.
Right, but there was conspiracy theories arising and the internet saying, it's a grudge, whatever.
Conspiracy. If my dead grandmother had a dick, she'd be my dead grandfather.
We're gonna wrap it all up here right now. All right, we're gonna wrap it all here. We're gonna see where this goes. We're all cops. We all support cops, of course. And we realize that it's not going to be as open and shut as a lot of people think. And it's honestly, it's just going to go where it goes. It's going to go where it goes.
We know where it's going to go.
No, it's going to go where it goes.
Rome's going to burn, basically.
If the politics take precedent, then he will get fucked. And if they can actually see that the defense can prove that he didn't do what they say he did, and he did what he was trained to do, we're going to see. We're going to see.
Can a gentleman from New Jersey get 2 more minutes?
You can't. A minute and a half.
Minute and a half. Okay,
it's
good.
Not going to change
what you're
anything.
seeing. What you're seeing, and listen. At least anybody, every major city. All right, 1 minute. At least, I don't give a fuck what major city you're working in. I'm sure that there's protests and all that, but at least if you're in a New York City area, I mean, is there any cop on the planet that hears about protests going on in the city that every time they hear it, they don't roll their fucking eyes like, what?
No.
The fuck are they protesting?
We all roll our eyes.
Wait, shh. What are they possibly protesting now? Like, it's exhausting now. If there ever was a case of overplaying their hand, it's these people that are, first of all, where the fuck do they have all this time? I wish I had all the time to ride bikes around the fucking city all fucking day and protest. I mean, they're protesting everything. But listen, there is no doubt that no matter where this trial goes, no matter how it ends, there are going to be protests because and again, I said this, we have created this, and by we I mean law enforcement. We have accommodated it, we have allowed it, we have normalized it.
The bosses.
If you are marching in a fucking street, blocking the street, blocking bridges, you are not peacefully assembling. You are now disrupting the flow of traffic. You are now acting disorderly. They should all be fucking collars. The fact that we have normalized it have now empowered these kids to think, fuck it, I'm just gonna march around and do it. And that is there. It doesn't make a difference where this fucking ends. It doesn't make. They could find him guilty of everything. They'll protest him not sentencing him to death. They're gonna protest now because we have allowed it. Start collaring these fucking rioters, these people that are acting disorderly, the people that are actually breaking the laws that are on the books. Start fucking collaring them. Don't worry about what the prosecutor's going to do. If the prosecutor's going to let him out 10 minutes later, who gives a fuck? Do it.
Oh, wait, Jay, we're out. Why are you cutting it? We have to wrap it up. We're wrapping it up.
But I want to say this because Josh and I talked this about a million times. He's absolutely right. Lock him up. If they cut him loose, they cut him loose. Listen, if you block a fucking road, if you block a police car, surround a police car, and attempt to pull a fucking cop out of it, and the cop runs you the fuck over, the cop is no fault. You created your own.
But we're talking to cops. The people that are listening to the show are cops.
Right. Exactly. And listen,
we get it.
Listen. And if I was still on the job and you surround my fucking police car, I'm hitting the motherfucking gas and somebody become.
So do I. I'll do the same thing.
All right. That's what they're doing.
T. Yes, sir. Plug. Dog stuff. Go.
High Drive K9.
High Drive K9. Let's go.
On Instagram and Facebook. Give us a follow, man. Always appreciate the love.
What do you got?
Well, as always, thebluemagazine.com. If you are interested and you are deep into what law enforcement community does, go to thebluemagazine.com, and also our sponsor, the sponsor that was here tonight.
I was waiting to see if you were going to do that.
BlueTristate.com. Dr. Alex was here in the show, so if you want to book an appointment with him, go to BlueTristate.com.
If you want to get sung to while you get a COVID test. Because he did sing to me. I never got to that. Brothersbeforeothers.org, proudpig.blue. I can't do the Johnny Blue But I just did. I did. Yeah, www.proudpig.blue. If you're not patrolling with the pig, you're doing it wrong. And I did just want to thank the guys that were out in Cleveland this weekend. We're not going to get into specifics, but Jimmy from
Detroit.
Yeah, Jimmy. Oh wait! Before I know you're tired. Wait, I got a video. Before my plug, real quick. I just wanted to thank all the guys that came out there that weekend. Jimmy is and he knows who he is a phenomenal human being.
Aces.
Listen, honestly, one of the best people that I've met through this charity.
Torres can't speak.
What
he's still stuttering.
One of the best people that I've met through this charity that Burke started. Just a genuine fucking human being, and he is the stereotypical, job fucking you for the sake that they can fuck you, and that's it. That's a discussion for a different show. I'm not getting into it because I have a new rule that I want to enact. Jacob, please. I have 2 videos. Tommy, I know you got a plug to get to.
No. I'm gonna wait. No, I'm gonna no color, no rank.
Yeah,
fucking blue.
Yeah,
100%. That guy is fucking 100%. I don't give a fuck what color your skin is.
Yes.
Or what rank you fucking have.
He's one of the best. Jimmy's one of the honest to God, one of the best. I mean that.
So we'll touch a little bit on this when we won't get into names, but when you are I will do it. When you are picked out, right? And then the criminal aspect here, and when the DA goes after you, and they chase you for a fucking year.
Speaking of the,
let me finish. When the DA goes after you for a fucking year, and they have nothing, and they go, no criminal charges. You think, oh, great, I'm back to my job. And then your fucking job, your department, your fucking own people. Let me finish. Your own fucking people turn around and say, oh, great, the DA did not go after you, and they didn't fucking prosecute you. But now we're going to go after you criminally or fucking, not criminally, but through the department. The worst thing that can happen to you as a cop is that you're criminally charged and you're prosecuted. And then your department should turn around and say, hey, you got past that, we're good, we're all clear. So you get past the fucking criminal charges and you're finished. And then you're like, yeah, let me get back to my fucking job. And what happens? Then your fucking job says, well, the DA, who's a fucking cocksucker, couldn't get you.
Allegedly, with all due respect.
We couldn't convict you criminally with the DA, so we're going to go after you within the department charges. We're going to fuck you there. And then you beat that. How the fuck, like...
Because listen, he's in somebody's crosshairs, and they're just going to drive him out. And this is what if they want to know what burns cops out, it's not anything from the outside. It's not
inside. It's the internal stuff.
Yes, it's cops, fucking cops. Tommy, we get it. Topic for another day.
Let me just say one more thing. Let's just say one more thing about Jimmy from Detroit.
When you see these videos,
Jimmy and I had a conversation around Christmas time about this very same topic, and I said it. They don't want cops like Jimmy anymore around. Correct. They don't want them. They don't want them, so departments are trying to give the guys that.
You beat the criminal shit,
that, but
and then your job turns around and goes, not good enough.
They have Jimmy in his crosshairs. They don't want a cop like Jimmy around no more. Jimmy is an old school cop.
Yes.
They don't want him anymore.
Well,
they don't want him.
I said before. They don't want guys like us. I said it before. They're tying cops hand to toe, and under Joe Biden, the law enforcement community is being axed. All right.
Hold on, before you get to your plug, I want, can we please all agree here at the Blue Room Podcast and all of our affiliates, can we please enact a high generic him we do not speak of rule for those that don't follow the Howard Stern show. There was a point in time that Howard refused or denied, or I don't even know what the word is, would not allow Eric to have any pets at all because he was hearing the way that his pets were treated. Jacob, if you could do me a favor and just load up the first one of the dog defiling the pillow. I want people to keep in mind as you're watching these videos. Wait,
We're 3 hours in.
I know, but I want people to keep.
What's wrong with the dog?
I have to drive home.
I want people to keep in mind that these are pets in Chris's house. Okay, now, all right. I mean, that you may think, okay, that's not that abnormal. I mean, everybody's pets has a little something that they like to hump. Mine likes to hump my wife. I'm just saying.
What?
The problem is it's a female. I'm a female, so I got crazy shit going on. Yeah, it's allegedly called scissoring. Allegedly. Okay, so. All right, so now I want you to load up the second video. Now, you're looking at this video and you're trying to figure out what exactly is going on. Well, let me tell you exactly what is going on. No, don't be done yet. Don't be done yet.
I'm done.
What's going on in this video is Chris's cat. Is this the evil cat that you keep locked up 23
No, there's a different cat.
Or this is the good cat. This is the good cat. That is his cat hunting his guinea pig. You understand that he has now let he thinks this is funny. He's like, no. He goes, no, they're playing. I know. I said, no, Chris, your cat is hunting this guinea pig right now.
Guinea pig, you know?
So listen, I am making Danny. If you're still listening to the show, if you're one of the 3 people that are still watching the show,
he's not.
Please, can we enact a new rule that as long as Chris has pets, he can no longer appear on the show because we need to take all of the animals for their own safety and for our sanity out of Chris's house.
Nobody from the ASPCA is watching.
Listen, if they are, Chris better not go directly home. I'm just saying.
This has been a very long show.
www.proudpig.blue
www.lineofdutycigars.com. Guys, it's March. It's golf season. All right? You need cigars at your fucking golf outings. www.lineofdutycigars.com or email me at lodcigars@gmail.com.
Not for nothing, Tommy, but you could have been at lunch with us the other day. I'm just putting that out there. I don't want any problems.
It's been a long fucking night. We're an hour over. We're an hour over
because we started an hour late.
No, not really.
No disrespect, Jake.
Like 10 minutes late we started like 10 minutes late.
LOD Cigars.
OC.
LOD Cigars at gmail.com.
Oh yeah, before we go, last thing, Chris has to pronounce OC and then we're out.
Hurry up.
Go ahead, Chris. Hurry up.
OC.
Say it.
God, yo.
Pronounce it and then we're gonna go.
Sound
I don't even know when the next show is. I don't really give
The
a fuck.
27th, Saturday the 27th,
Yeah,
Saturday the 27th,
Whatever.
Saturday the 27th, 8 to 10.
Say it.
Dawn.
Go.
All right.
Go, say it.
Oleo Rosen Capsicum. Oleo Rosen Capsicum.
Say it. Wait. Stop. Say it again. One more time. Slower.
Say it again.
Oleo Rosen
No,
I'm not doing it. No. One more time. I can listen to this all night. Go ahead.
They should record that. Say it again.
Oleo Rosen
Fade to black.
Jacob, no. www.lineofdutycigars.com. And now we go out with that.
Awesome. lineofdutycigars.com. Take it out. We're done.
If you are searching for a doctor that truly cares about your overall health and well-being, contact Dr. Alex at Tri-State Health and Wellness. For more than 11 years, Dr. Alex has been treating law enforcement professionals and their families while focusing on one-on-one care so you never feel rushed. All necessary testing can be conducted during your visit, and they feature flexible hours and appointments to accommodate alternating work schedules. Tri-State Health and Wellness is conveniently located in Fair Lawn, New Jersey. Contact Dr. Alex today by visiting www.bluetristate.com. Mortgages for everyday heroes. From Michelle Hendershot and Homebridge Financial Services. If you're looking to purchase a home or refinance an existing mortgage, Michelle Hendershot can assist you every step of the way. With over 10 years of experience assisting law enforcement officers with their dream of owning a home, the choice is simple. Contact Michelle Hendershot today. Visit www.mortgagesforblue.com. Are you tired of sleeping alone each night? Feeling sluggish during the day? Is your snoring keeping your spouse awake at night? If you find yourself spending too much time on the couch, maybe it's time to visit Dr. Michael Doblin of At Home Sleep Solutions. Dr. Doblin is the preferred sleep apnea doctor of New Jersey's law enforcement officers. With the help of a custom-fitted oral device, you can finally say goodbye to noisy, antiquated sleep apnea machines. For more information and to schedule an appointment today, contact Dr. Michael Doblin. Visit www.bluesnore.com. Moment of Silence, Inc., along with Blue Suicide, is a nonprofit organization founded to support and raise awareness about the epidemic of suicides amongst law enforcement, military personnel, and first responders. For more information on how you can help, visit momentofsilenceinc.org. If you're in the market for a new vehicle or a certified used vehicle, then visit Fetty Auto Group, located at the junction of Route 46 and Route 3 in Clifton, New Jersey. Fetty Auto Group stands shoulder to shoulder with the men and women in blue. Stop by and ask for Troy Mall and ask about the offers for first responders. For more information, visit FettyAuto.com. That's FettyAuto.com. The Blue Magazine, the law enforcement publication by law enforcement professionals for the men and women of law enforcement. The unfiltered voice of law enforcement. TheBlueMagazine.com. Are you patrolling with the pig? If not, you're doing it wrong. Check out all the newest swine swag at ProudPig.blue. They are dirty by design. Check it out now. Visit www.proudpig.blue for all your swine swag. Visit www.proudpig.blue. Resumes by Joe. Owned and operated by retired NYPD second grade detective Joe Federa. With over 20 years of professional resume writing experience and focusing on translating what we do as cops into language that the corporate world can appreciate. We put an emphasis on ensuring that your cover letter and resume will be best received by the applicant tracking system used by most companies today. Check out our website at www.resumesbyjoe.com or call Joe directly at 347-992-4523. Don't forget to ask about the 50% discount for BBO members and most unions across the country. Give us the job of helping you get the job. Contact Resumes by Joe today. If you're a member of the law enforcement profession and are looking to establish long-lasting business relationships with businesses that are blue-friendly, it's time to visit visitblue.com. Visitblue.com features some of the best doctors, lawyers, realtors, as well as other service providers, such as home improvement and financial services. If you are looking for reliable, trustworthy service providers, visit visitblue.com. That's www.visitblue.com. Founded in 2014 by retired NYPD police officer Michael Burke, Brothers Before Others is a national 501c3 law enforcement charity comprised solely of both sworn and retired police officers. Since their inception, Brothers Before Others has sent floral arrangements to the services of all line-of-duty deaths, regardless of where in the country they occur, having spent over $350,000 to date, while the National National Flower Fund remains their cornerstone, their benevolence has since grown well beyond that, even into the civilian world. For more information on how to get involved or to donate, visit brothersbeforeothers.org, or you can visit their public forums on all social media platforms by searching Brothers Before Others. Founded in 2016 by professional musician Neil Giraldo, 3-Chord Bourbon has developed a process that is defined as the perfectly tuned taste, blending carefully selected whiskey bourbon and rye whiskey stocks from Kentucky, Tennessee, and Indiana. Designed to be enjoyed with friends and family, 3-Chord Bourbon will leave you with the same feeling you experience after hearing that perfect song. You'll know their whiskeys are right from the very first sip. For more information on 3-Chord Bourbon and available merchandise, visit 3chordbourbon.com. Line of Duty Cigars, owned and operated by retired NYPD Detective Tom Werther. Visit lineofdutycigars.com for our handmade Nicaraguan cigars, custom ashtrays, custom humidors, and custom flask sets. Also, when you place an order, you choose the law enforcement, first responder, or veteran charity, and Line of Duty Cigars donates 10% to that organization. Planning a special event? Contact us today. Visit www.lineofdutycigars.com.